Hello, and welcome back to Rolex Play, where we roll dice and we play games. You have joined us for our mid-week campaign, Threads of Chaos. We are currently about to dive into episode 4, titled Temple Trespassers. Before we begin, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us along this journey so far, and the support that you've given us between this, as well as our Sunday campaign. And as well, if you want to catch up on any of the episodes, you can find them on YouTube, as well as you can find everything that we do on social media, such as Instagram. So yeah, Rolex Play, that's who we are, that's where we are. Bing bong bang, I've done the plug. Robbie would be happy. So let me just get into the actual game now. So, as the party have currently been traveling through the Howling Mountains, a desolate, dangerous area, they were forewarned. They have come across a temple, an abandoned temple to Moradin, the creator, one of the first founding gods of Korthaic. In this temple, they had retrieved some lost items that had been left behind in this purge of this temple. Some magical, some very strange and quirky. They also found some trouble inside. There was an issue with a howler that had seemed to be left and trapped within the temple, but they safely escorted them out without an issue. But also there was a pack of gnolls, these hyena hybrid creatures, who were trying to scavenge anything they could find within this temple. Upon arriving into the same room as them, a fight took place, and quickly you dispatched of these gnolls with haste, using both spells as well as your own physical abilities. Since then, you interrogated a gnoll and since sacrificed him in a blood ritual to bring him back as some other creature. His soul is now with Axon, supposedly. And also, you had retrieved some more items that were locked away inside of a cornered off area. Retrieving all of these items and leaving the bodies to rest of these creatures, you prepare your journey onwards and further into the temple, which you know there to be more of these gnolls somewhere within. So that's where we pick up and we dive straight into. So you guys are currently in that main temple area where there was a large statue of Moradin with that kind of verse at the bottom, one of the testaments that he had left behind for his followers. And you know the journey that you can go on next. Is there any preparations before you go ahead? Nothing whatsoever. Okay, awesome.
Not for me.
Then I'll ask what the marching order is as you proceed inwards.
Same as the last
Helen
time.
would kind of go, yeah.
Okay, same as last time then. So we just familiarize ourselves again. So that would be Ulrin. Go ahead, Leonie. You broke up a little bit there.
I don't want to be right back again.
Okay.
Because
We'll have
I think
Macelia
I'm
be at the
taking
back
most damage so far.
because Marie's not here to say anything against it.
Yeah.
So Macelia is at the back with Mushu. Then at the front, do we have Ulrin and Helen again?
Yes.
Okay. And then in the middle, you can have two people in the middle. So is that going to be Axon and Cal?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Very nice. So you begin your journey inwards. The tunnel which you find yourself in, it's a collapsed area of an entranceway, it seems, a tunnel that leads further into the temple. At the very entrance of this temple, of this tunnel rather, you do see the words still written and stained in blood on the ground, sins of the father, just kind of leading into this tunnel. You can see most of it is destroyed, but there is clearly a path in the middle, wide enough for two people to walk side by side, either cleared out of the way, or maybe just kind of fallen in this position. It's hard to tell. But the tunnel is long enough to where you can't really see the end of it. So you're kind of walking in slightly blind as you lead in. So I'd like both Ulrin and Helen to describe what you guys are doing as you are leading the party forward. Are you looking around? Are you checking for anything in particular? What are you guys what's going through your guys' mind as you're leading this?
Same as last time, Helen would be actively like looking at the ground, especially given we've already like found those kind of tripwire-y things earlier, like looking for that kind of stuff as we're going in.
Okay. And for Ulrin? You're muted, Arne.
I'm muted.
You're still muted.
Still muted.
You're still muted.
God.
Just keeps
Yeah.
going.
There you are.
Yeah, my bad. I was muted for the intro and forgot again.
No worries, mate.
Anyway, I keep my shield close to my body, barely not covering my eyes as I look around. Also for tripwires, traps of any sort.
Okay. Then I'd like the two of you to roll investigation checks for me. Or you can give someone advantage if you want to.
Okay, let's see. I guess I'll give you advantage.
Alrighty then. Let's see.
Helen just
Yeah.
rolled so high. It's incredible.
It's just on intelligence. She is smart.
Okay.
That is mostly it.
So, Olwen kind of aiding Helen in this effort. You check the ground, check the perimeters. You continue to almost descend. It seems like this tunnel does actually go down slightly, but it's not like a straight drop or an incline that you would notice. Only through this investigation check, you actually notice that you're actually descending to where you almost feel that areas of the floor are slightly slippy, but you kind of pick up on those spots. As well, you can see that there is blood marks on the ground, red stains that are all congealed together. It looks like that there's been some sort of fight or some skirmish has happened here, but these blood marks seem to be within the last 10 days. Nothing recent more happened in the past, but something active at least has been coming through here with blood, or at least some fight has happened. You can't tell if it's the same as like the gnolls blood, for example. The blood is just too general to really pick up on what it could have been, but you do notice that on the ground. As well, through the bits of rock that kind of like poke out every so often, you can see there are scratch marks against them. You can also see bits of leather have been left kind of like almost pulled away from either skin or have just been left there to dry like jerky. It's hard to tell again, but this place just looks disorganized to the point where bits laying around like that aren't really like... You do begin to notice at least something or someone or has been within this area recently, and that's outside of the gnolls activity. So you continue further in, and you don't find any traps. You don't see any tripwires or anything of the sort. One thing you do see at the very precipice of this tunnel, it begins to almost open out in a very conical shape, as the roof as well as the floor almost kind of has that circular design, and it does go out in a conical fashion. In the floor, there are pillars that rise upwards, and there are large gaps between them. It looks like the floor, areas of the floor at least, have given way completely, and there are large pits that just descend down further than your vision can see. This space goes over for about 60 feet or so, and these pillars are the only thing to guide you across, and there are gaps between them, so you would have to leap from one to the other to get to the other side. But one thing that you see is there are makeshift bits of wood and bone and leather that has been almost turned into some sort of makeshift bridge or ladder system that has been laid across these pillars to create a path to the other side. With your investigation check, Helen, this seems to be in the same almost accoutrement, or like the same things that the gnolls were wearing and used and kind of carried by their side. So you assume this is something they've implemented to get to the other side. so you could do so as well.
Oh, cool. Helen just kind of look back and go, my balance is pretty good. I can, try to go across first unless anyone else wants to try. As she's just like turning around and just looking at the ramshackle nature of the bridge she's about to walk across.
Before you go, perhaps you want to secure yourself with a rope?
That's a good idea. Ed would, do I have rope?
I do. I hand a rope.
Question. See, okay. She'd kind of tie it around her waist
Mhm.
and just kind of nod back at him. I just kind of go, start falling. Please do pull me back up. I'm not the biggest fan of heights. And just like kind of looking. And then I'm just gonna try and steady my balance and start walking.
You begin to place yourself over the first gap, over the first bridge, and there's 5 to get to the other side. Different instances, and they're individual. They're not like linked to one chain. You approach one, and as soon as you look down, you can see that there are broken bits of rubble in the ground where the floor is just completely caved through, and the drop looks to be maybe 100 feet or so, just on the edge of your vision where the light is kind of shining in some areas and just poking down into the depths. And from your kind of just general awareness, you can see that there are other things down there that aren't moving. You just see these shadows of maybe something that tried to walk across, maybe other priests or people who were standing and then just completely gave way and fell into this pit. And it does kind of give a slight bit of vertigo looking down, especially walking across this essential tightrope, but you begin to cross. I would like you to roll a acrobatics check. This would be at advantage.
While she does that, Cal is keeping an eye on the other side of the bridge, just if anything moves on the other side.
Okay.
And he
I'd
spots
like
it.
you to just roll a perception check for me, Cal, as you're keeping a general eye out.
And can I look down and also see what's moving there? If I can.
Yeah, sure. Roll a perception check. Okay. Cal, you kind of keep a trained eye at the doorway ahead of you. You can see the door clearly, like the other side where it descends into another tunnel and just kind of continues. You see it clearly, so you're not going to miss anything coming from that or going into it. But your general perception of everything else is just lessened because you are paying such close attention there. You know that Olrin has Helen safe, and you're seeing Helen cross these platforms with ease, not really kind of faltering or very kind of graceful balance to themselves as they walk across. For Axon, as you're looking down into the hole, you can see the glimpses and glimmers of what look to be almost like artifacts, like pieces of metal armor. You can see weapons, both maces and hammers and shields, all buried within this rubble, all finely made, but you can see they are rusted. They have been here for a long time. These are weapons and armors and bits of artifacts and personal items that the priests would have worn to protect and keep this temple safe. They are just discarded at the bottom, just destroyed. But as well, in there, you can see dead gnolls. You can see 7 gnolls. You say 7, but you hesitate to think that there's maybe 9, because a few of them are bisected and look to have been ripped apart. You see arms and legs and heads, skulls, as well as almost flesh that is rotting now, just left there, discarded within this pit.
Yeah,
These were not caused by falling.
yeah, better not to fall down. Something in there. It looks like a burial, or I mean, like a place where you just drop the dead. And the
We'll
cause
try
of
not to.
death, and cause of death, it's probably not from falling. Something down there, lurking and probably feeding
Oh,
on that
that's
flesh.
great. That's great news. Thanks. We needed to know that.
For Olren,
Perhaps tell us after we crossed it.
Yeah.
You know, if you weren't, you're prepared. You know.
Olren, as you're kind of holding on to the rope and kind of loosening it every time that Helen gets to a further point, your eyes kind of glance over to the left and the right of you. In this conical-shaped room, you can see that the stonework has etched carvings of what looks to be a bearded man's face. Moradin's face is etched into the wall itself. Very detailed, but subtle enough where you wouldn't notice. But below their face on both sides, you see more testaments written out, similar to the one that you read. The first testament you read was in the previous room. These two seem to be second testaments and third testaments of Moradin. But to get a better read of them, you will need to be on the central platforms to be able to see them properly. So currently you can't see them too well.
Yeah, for now I bide my time and help Helen cross.
Mhm. Helen, eventually you make it to the other side. Doesn't take you too long, but you're careful enough. And as well, to not make any noise, you do eventually find yourself on the other side. And also without disturbing any of these platforms from either falling or the actual bridges themselves falling. So everything is still intact.
Right. Is there like a big pillar or a rock or something that I can kind of like put the rope around and myself just to get a bit more like leverage were someone to slip?
Because this room is like conical, where you are currently standing, you're basically at the end of that funnel. You're where it opens up the widest. And because it's opened up to such an extreme, there are pillars here that rise up to keep the ceiling from falling into itself. One of them has slightly been broken apart, like the rest of the floor, but one of them is still intact, so you can tie it around there.
Okay, so I'm gonna do my best like Girl Scout, tie it super tight, and also just gonna like watch it as well, like stand on the far side so I can see it and everyone crossing, and give a big thumbs up.
Okay. I look around on my side whether there's some protruding rock or something I can tie mine around so we can suspend the rope in the air.
You can roll a nature check. Because there are no pillars here, you are looking for bits of protruding stone. So a nature check if you could.
Okay.
14.
14.
You find one which you are quite satisfied with. It almost kind of hooks upwards, and it leaves a place for you to kind of hitch a knot onto it and leave almost like a loop to kind of bear it down. Helen would have to take up the slack, but at least you have something which is hooked at the point where you can kind of tug, and that's good purchase.
And I
So
go next.
At this point now, you
I
pull
wanna go
the rope taut, and you have a pretty good kind of handrail to go across with.
Okay then. Who's next?
No, Cal seems quite eager.
Okay, Cal, you begin to head on. You're going to take the same path as Helen did?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like you to roll an acrobatics check at advantage as well, please. 24.
Ooh, nice. 24.
With the rope guiding your trajectory forward, you go past fairly quickly. You even kind of almost skip over some of these bridges to not disturb them at all, in case their integrity is a bit broken or at least untrustworthy. You kind of hold onto the rope, jump up to one, then use the rope as leverage to continue your journey forward, and eventually you find your way on the other side with Helen, unscathed, without causing any issue or disturbances.
Oh, that was fun. We do this again.
We will on the way back. Now, the next one.
If no one else will, May Sealy will go ahead. So May Sealy will attempt to go across as well, alongside Mushu. So this will be a check on her behalf. So acrobatics at advantage. Okay. She has the same. She falters slightly in some areas, but she does make it across as well. One of the bridges that were intersecting made of bone and loose bits of stripped leather. You see as she stepped on it, one of the bone arms that goes across does break and cave in. So one of these bridges is out, unless you wish to try and risk it and walk across it still. You can still use the rope to jump across, but that means that this challenge is a little bit more difficult for those who go next. So, May Celia is now on the other side, Helen and Cal are on the other side. We have Axon and Olrin left.
You know, I'm quite fine to leave or stay here, you know?
Go, Axon. You wouldn't want to wait for me to cross. I'm much heavier than you.
Okay. I look again, like down. What's the options are left? Like, still try to cross through the bridge, or like
Yes.
jump?
So there's different bridges. So you can take the walking path, which will have its own DC set. You can either try and jump across, or if you wanted to, the rope is there. If you do not trust the floor, you can just use the rope and try and shimmy your way across. Shimming your way across is a strength check, however, because you are using upper body strength.
Yeah, I'm not quite good at those, so I will try and cross again, like this, using the same path, you know.
Okay. Then
I
I'll
will.
ask for an athletics check.
Yeah. Before I go, I will like take my rosaries and whisper quietly something there and try to give myself, you know, guidance.
Yeah, that works.
Like, wind spirit, guide my steps. Don't let me fall. And yeah, dexterity save or acrobatics? Sorry, yeah.
Acrobatics check at advantage.
1d4. Oh,
5. Something very strange happens, Axon. As you cast that guidance spell, you mutter those words, very specific words, and you find almost this wind push you forward, and your steps just glide across the pillars, and you find yourself landing on the other side. The wind coils around your arm momentarily and buffets itself up your clothes, and then just disappears.
I'm looked like shocked and surprised at the same time. I mean, I never expected that, like wearing the like heavy armor, to be so nimble.
Oh, shouldn't have been so worried if you're that light on your feet.
Oh, it was just luck, or maybe assistance from above. I don't know.
Did that rest of
Doesn't.
us like kind of see any of it, or was it more like a feeling?
I'd say it was definitely an odd sensation where you just see Axon very kind of like Mary Poppins gliding and walking through the air. There's like just slightly above the stone on the floor where he's just la, 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 just gliding across. It's just a very odd thing to see, but he's not the most normal of people with all of his tricks. And you've seen him literally take someone's life and say that he's putting it inside another body. So the only one left now is Olrin.
Yeah, I step towards the bridge. I try my luck with the bridge, but for the broken section, I try to instead use the rope to cross it entirely.
Okay. Then for this, I would like you to roll an acrobatics check at advantage.
Okay. Also, I'll give myself guidance because I don't want to fall.
You make
That's
it
right.
because you specifically said that you're only going about halfway. You make it halfway and you hold yourself steady on that rope, holding it tight. You almost fall for a second as you reach that last step, and because of the rope, you pull yourself up. But that means 2 of the 5 bridges are broken, going across now. And there is a large gap. Basically, the first 2 bridges that you had to cross are now gone. They are now just gaps between pillars at this point. But now, Ulrin, you're kind of there standing on the central area, and you look to the left and the right, and you do see those testaments in clear view now. You look over to the one on your left, which seems to be stated as the second testament, and it reads, "As creation thrived, my children proved themselves a strong heart. But this is hard to maintain, harder than we thought it could be. Kurthayek was not kind to us calling it home. Immortals of its own land would defy us. We were not welcome in the world we shaped, but we did not shape it for ourselves. It was always meant for you. We only wish we could stand there by your side." And then you look over to the right and you see the third testament. "We are now the Watchers, our divine power kept behind an unseeable wall. Know that we are here for you, and we hear your words, a burden that kills us. In the darkest of days, faith will aid you. Divine power will stand beside your devotion to us." You see those testaments to the left and the right. Proceeding forward, would you like to use your strength using the rope to guide across?
Yep.
Okay, then I'll ask you to roll an athletics check. This will be a straight check because you're using the rope as intended.
I take a look back at the bridge I just broke.
Mm-hmm.
Moradin, preserve me. And guidance myself for the next check and roll a natural, of course.
You, holding onto that rope, you mutter those prayers, and there is something just in this place where it is no longer hallowed ground. It is burnt and turned to sunder. So your words falter, and so does your step. As your foot gives way to a broken piece of stone. You grab onto the rope as hard as you can, but this momentum, as well as the hook in which you had tied it to, cuts through, and you end up swinging, and you hit yourself straight on the other side where your party are. Because of this, I will ask you to make a strength saving throw for me. The rest
Can
of
we
you are watching,
assist him and
How would
try
you
to
like to
catch
assist?
him and pull him?
Sure. So he is swinging down at a lower level to kind of hit into the wall below. How would you like to try and grab him or aid him?
Lower. But he used the rope, right? We have the other
He's
end
holding
of the
onto the
rope.
rope and he's Tarzaning his way into a wall.
Into a wall. But he holds the rope, right, in
He's
his
holding
hands.
onto the rope, yeah.
Yeah, so how about we just, redirect him and try to, use like a pendulum and, use the momentum so he would go, like, to
Go
our
swing
level.
away.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. If you want to try and do something like that, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
If you want to use your intelligence for this, Axon, I'll allow it.
Yeah, I can.
So this should just be a straight intelligence check. Does anyone else want to attempt something whilst Axon is trying to almost impede this pendulum?
Can I see what
Do
he's
I
trying
own
to
a
do
pillow?
fast enough to help?
I'd say so. I'd say your initiatives are high enough to where you can act in this moment before Ulrin does swing down and hit himself into the rocks. You see Axon
Okay.
begin to
Great.
almost lever the there's almost like a piece of stone that he uses and levers over the top of where the rope is bowing, and he's just pointing it forward to allow the pendulum to, rather than all of the slack give way down below, to hold it steady and bring him up to the same level. But he can't do this alone, so who else is going to try and attempt and help?
Can I try and help him by like also trying to be like another point of manipulation on the rope, just to try and get the extra like swing kind of?
Yeah, sure.
So
If you want to either roll a acrobatics or athletics check, this will be you kind of using your physical body to try and manipulate and cause the swing to go through correctly.
Okay.
Cal, is there anything you want to do?
Yes, I want to either, if I have it, put a pillow between where he is going to hit the wall and the wall, or if I don't have that, maybe like sleeping bag. Sleeping a bedroll for example.
I'd like you to roll a ranged attack roll to see how accurate you are at throwing a pillow.
Well, if the others manage to lever him upwards, I hope I don't have to throw it. A ranged attack. Okay,
inside
so
of you there are 3 wolves.
is that just proficiency plus dex, or?
Yes, that will be.
Okay.
I'll just wait with my strength saving throw for all the shenanigans to do
Yes.
something.
You know what? Because of all of these acts, you don't even need to make a strength saving throw anymore, Ulrin. You grab onto the rope and just kind of like close your eyes for a moment, grabbing tight, and you land safely and softly. For everyone else, you see this kind of quick thinking. Axon prepares this kind of pillar to go in between. Helen helps and guides the rope forward at an angle to where it kind of lifts up and lands on top with the rest of you. And Cal, as you see Ulrin's body flying in the air and then beginning to fall down straight on his caboose, you fling your pillow forward and his tushy hits a nice cushion. No longer hurt by the fall, Ulrin, you take no damage. So you open your eyes and you just sat on a nice fluffy feathered pillow.
Yeah, as I start to slip, fall, and swing, Oren's like, "Oh, no! Ah!" White was swinging wildly through the air, closed eyes, bracing for impact, and then. Whoop. But what just happened?
Welcome to the afterlife, Ulrin.
Yeah, you crushed all of us. We're all dead now. We tried to pull you up with the No, we tried to pull you up with the rope, but you were too heavy and you dragged all of us down with you, and now we're all dead.
Yeah, Kel, if you're lying, you have to settle on the story.
Damn it, Helen.
Ulrin,
I grab a stone and throw it at the probably now also destroyed bridge. Blasted! Blasted! No craftsmanship.
Hey, you said we get to go back over that when we return. You can't break it further.
Yeah. I hope
That
we...
section is
Should
pretty
try
much
and
lost.
convert some of these gnolls. It might teach them better construction skills. Just kind of looking at the
Actually-
crumbling bridges.
Or we have to find another exit out of this area.
True.
Ulrin, what sort of feeling is going through his head at the moment? Is it fear, frustration, anger?
A mix of all of those, actually. Fear for almost plummeting to his death, anger over this poor excuse of craftsmanship,
Mm-hmm.
and frustration mostly of his own inability to just cross this thing safely. Also, he blames himself
Mm-hmm.
for, well, badly securing the rope.
Helen, you just see this heat wave emerge from Olren. Just this. I say heat wave because heat is probably the best way to describe how he's feeling. Just this wave of sentiment just pouring off of his body as he's just there, angered, frustrated, and you just kind of see it, and there's something almost enticing about it, but you kind of take a step back almost.
Yeah. You'd see Helen almost like leaning slightly towards him and then just kind of cocking her head slightly and taking like a half step back. I guess. Well, if we are going to continue, I think it's that way. Though, should we plan an exit before we keep going just in case? Because that's not really usable.
Well, what do you suggest? The rope already failed us, and the bridge is no good either.
I mean, the rope worked. Mostly.
Well, the stone over there didn't.
How big are the actual gaps, like, between the pillars?
They range between 10 and 5 feet, so it's possible to jump across, but for people like Olrin, it might be slightly difficult to do those sorts of jumps. He'll need to be aided. He's strong enough to be able to leap and bound, but it's the armor, it's all of the weight that they carry. You've left most of your supplies in the cart, so you don't have to worry about too many things, but you're still wearing heavy pieces of armor, large shields, the stuff that you've gathered already, so some of them may be a bit more of a hassle, but with teamwork, it can be easy.
You're saying we have to throw the dwarf?
And three of the 5 are broken, right?
Correct. Yes. There are 2 that remain.
Okay. And it's like not the lot. It's like the last one and one of the middle ones, right?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. I mean, if we like crossbow, I could like shoot the rope over as a guide and then kind of try and jump, the rest of them and, rope just in case I fall and then tie the rope off at the other end again?
How about we will worry about this when we will go back? Like, maybe there is another exit, so why should we go to such extent?
To be fair, we might come back
We're
running.
running from... Yeah.
Then we don't need to run.
I think if we're running from something, we won't concern ourselves with getting across safely.
Well, I'm in favor of Helen's plan.
Okay. Do you think your crossbow can do that? It's rather tiny.
As she whips out a massive heavy crossbow.
Oh, that's not a small one. Okay.
Pocket ballista.
Pocket crossbow.
Yeah.
I wonder where she carries it.
Like, is it possible to like tie the rope on the end of like a crossbow bolt and still shoot it like effectively-ish?
You could. You can definitely try and see how well you can kind of embed this crossbow. The point of contention comes down to how well the crossbow bolt will actually hold your guys' weight, because that isn't necessarily reinforced like the rope or steel or anything like that. It's not stone either. It's just flexible piece of wood with some reinforced barbs. So it's not the toughest.
It was more of a guide just in case she falls, and then she'd tie it back on the other end.
It's definitely doable. It's something that you can try and perhaps succeed with. It just, the DC will be very difficult, is what I'd say. DC will be high for this sort of attempt. An attempt is possible.
Okay, so I'd kind of tie it off and try and shoot it across, and then. So should we just roll like an attack roll? I guess?
This would be a ranged attack roll.
Okay.
You fire the crossbow bolt, and the rope, it goes with the crossbow bolt, but then the bolt hits against a bit of the stonework and just snaps off. It just breaks completely, and the rope just hangs loose onto the ground. Unfortunately, the crossbow bolt was not strong enough to penetrate through stone, and it just kind of broke in that instant. There are areas that you could try and loop the rope across if you wanted to try and that, like a lasso of sorts. But whether you'll be able to reach with your strength is another question.
Alrighty.
Any other ideas?
You see...
Well, I can still jump across and just tie it off without the, guide rope. And if I fall, I fall. It's not that far.
But at least keep a hand on the rope.
Yeah,
We
but there's
can
something eating stuff down
secure
there.
at least this side.
Maysili will kind of just say, well, I do have Mushu. Perhaps he can grab the rope and fly across.
Oh, good thinking. I
Yeah,
forgot
I
your
think-
dragon.
That would be smarter than me jumping across the... Yep, I like that plan.
But I don't know if he'll be able to tie it. So maybe we can put it on the same place as before?
Well, that broke, I think.
The rope snapped. That hook is still there.
Oh, I thought you said the rocks. Okay.
So
Honestly,
he can
I
fly
thought
across
so.
and bring it back, and we can tie it again on this side. That works. As a just in case.
How long is the distance, or how far is this hook?
The distance is about 60 feet, so it is quite far. One of the ropes is snapped in half, so if you have another rope that you can use, you can tie two of them together and then use that.
Yeah, but it will still be 100 or 75 feet. Like one rope is 50 feet long.
Yep.
And one is already half, so it's like 25 or 75.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's probably not possible to go there and back, because we need to have double the length.
You'll be able to tie it in the same
Oh, we
fashion
could tie
as
the
it was.
knot here, and if you tie it
Yeah,
here,
but
give the
if you
dragon the
can't
loop,
tie it on
the
the
dragon
others-
flies over, and then
Yeah,
comes
but
back
if
and
it's
receives
yeah,
pets.
if it's not
no, okay, yeah. No, I get what you mean. Like tie like a noose or something, and he can just put
Yes.
it over the hook on the other end. Ah, okay.
Well, that's very dark way of thinking, but yes.
okay, yeah, I have another
Well, a
rope.
noose is a good knot for other things, not just the most common usage.
Okay, so you make
Oh,
a
but
a
still.
noose.
Mhm.
Who knows how to make a noose here?
Me.
Oh, I have
Cal
it.
knows how to make a noose.
Like,
His faults are
theory.
odd knowledge that Cal would definitely have, and you shouldn't question where from.
Okay, Cal makes a very intricate noose, which is almost scary to see. He creates several layers of added tension just in case it doesn't snap. Wraps it around several times.
If you need
It's
someone
very
to talk.
inconvenient when they snap.
Huh? Oh, no,
If you
don't
need
worry, don't
someone to
worry.
talk.
This was from a part-time job. It's from a part-time job.
Interesting part-time job.
Doing what? I don't think executioners hire part-time.
Well, you'd be surprised.
I think executioner it's like full-time, but to make those nozzles, it's like part-time, so they will use it later.
Honestly, I'm
Gets
not
it.
surprised you would work with an executioner.
Well, that's not exactly how they hired me. They just kind of advertised it as like a handsy job, where you would have to do a lot of heavy lifting and all that stuff, and some intricate detail work, like tying certain knots. And then when I had my first day on the job, it became very, very clear that with heavy things to carry around, they meant corpses. We worked an arrangement. We had an arrangement. It worked for a while, but not too long. I couldn't really stomach it.
Well, if anything, at least you alleviated my nervousness.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Again, it was for other people.
In
But
any
I
case,
do know how to do one.
are you
so,
ready,
yeah.
Helen?
Hey, what should Helen be ready for? I thought the dragon's taking it across.
Well,
Yep.
but the dragon can't tie it.
Yeah, but the nozzle will, when you like pull the rope, it will tie it itself on that end.
So the idea is they're going to
Yes,
put
believe me, this
the
is very tight.
noose on this hook, and then it will tighten onto it. No need for tying anything.
Okay.
So Mushu picks up the end of the noose. The noose does on occasion like flop over the neck, and it gets a bit scary sometimes as they're flying. It does kind of like tense a little bit as they're flying across. Wearing the noose as a bit of a necklace, but then eventually finds himself perched onto the side of this rock and just drops it on top. You give it one good pull, and you hear the rope begin to snap in place, and then fully tightened, you tie it to the pillar, and you now have a new piece of rope going across.
Wait a second, I
Wait.
give it a stronger pull.
You give it a good strum. It's pretty good.
Hey.
How strong? How hard do you want to hit this thing?
Yeah, no need to break it, otherwise, we won't have another like.
Otherwise, this would be getting really pointless and we should really move on. Like, that would...
Come on, like
I mean-
it was fun all right? Like going for a swing back there.
I wouldn't want to repeat it. But the rope seems secure this time.
Hey.
All right.
Oh.
You continue in through the tunnel onwards?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Same formation as
Marching
before?
order.
Cool.
Yep.
You continue in, again, another tunnel which is slowly descending downwards. Same size as the previous one and same amount of space as before as well. You're starting to get the idea that something has pushed these bits of rock away for passage. And with the previous checks and rolls that you were rolling, you start to get the sense that you can see elements of hands poking out of the stone, but the hands themselves are frozen in place. You see bits of ice around them, completely frigid. You also see at one point a face of a gnoll there, open, eyes wide, held within the stonework. Their face is completely frozen over. You see patches of fur as well around the walls where some creatures pushed past and has left remnants of fur behind. You continue.
Oh my god,
continue
guys.
in.
He was right. They really can freeze people. That is so cool. I hope we see a Yeti.
Wait, but were they like frozen or submerged in seemingly liquid stone? I didn't quite get
Would you
that.
like to observe closer?
Yeah.
To roll either a Arcana or Nature check.
Does it
Okay,
look
I'm
like
equally bad on both.
the wall kind of came out and froze them, or they were like pushed into the wall and like frozen to it?
Helen, upon looking, it looks like these gnolls were just jammed into the stone. They were pushed in, they were discarded remnants just left and pushed out of the way of this central passage. So you can see a few of them
Lovely.
are almost gnarled and kind of cracked in areas. So, Oren, you can
Yeah,
roll
but-
your Arcana or Nature check.
Okay, then
16. These gnolls and some humanoids, some actual human citizens that seem to have been either members of the guard of the Howling Mountains or perhaps just passers-by, they are all almost have this silvery finish against their skin, but that has a very frozen to the touch feel. They are essentially covered in this silvery ice, including what they wear. You see the armor, the chest pieces, the gauntlets, the bracelets, the headpieces, all covered in that same sheen. But it's only detectable through a close eye. On the outset, it looks like they just have a coating of some sort of oil or glazing, basically. But it is frozen. It is cold to the touch.
We should, like, once we get off of these very weird mountains, we should tell the people that are responsible for upkeeping them that they should really, like, come and collect these people. Like, they deserve a proper burial. Seems
I agree.
quite rude.
However, if we were to send people, we should make sure they're prepared. We're sending them to collect corpses, not to become them.
Yes.
You continue through the tunnel. There's a point where the tunnel, you can see that there is an end. But before that end, maybe about 20, 30 feet before that, the tunnel almost has this bubble-like effect where it is slightly bigger. All the stone has like almost been pushed apart, and there is a gap where the tunnel, you can actually see the walls of it to the left and the right, stretching about 20, 30 feet across with a dome semicircular shape to it. And the walls are not clean or well kept. This isn't magic that's caused this effect. It seems like someone's put in the work to move and usher the stone out of this space. And you now realize why. It's because hanging in the stone, you see stretched up and kind of placed into it, there are stripped, skinned yetis. You see large furred creatures with large bulbous arms and ripped torsos. You see all of this fur has been shaved off, and they have been stripped back to this almost naked appearance where you see the muscle underneath them. You see the kind of heavy scars and broken tissue from where they fought. The gnarled look and the kind of broken jaws that they have been all killed. You see 2 on one side and 1 on the other. 3 yetis total are just left here hanging and laying loose. Each one of them has their eyes completely cut out, and they are just hollow. The eyes are no longer there, just sockets. Their faces are humanoid to the extent where you can almost see that there is a person there, but for the most part, they are monsters. They are monstrosities, warped humans over millennia. These yetis are just dead, laying there. 3 of them.
How long do they look like they've been dead? Are they like decaying, or are they still like a little too fresh looking?
They seem to be in different stages. You see one of them is perhaps 2-3 months old, whilst the other 2 are fairly fresh within the last week.
Well, whatever
This is
did
horrible.
that is definitely still around, so eyes peeled. And just
should-
kind of keep an eye out along the perimeter.
We shouldn't leave them like this. This is... No creature deserves this. We should at least take them down, maybe burn. At least not leave them to rot like this. Like some sort of museum.
Is there
However,
a way
we
to
have
cut them
to
down
push
that
that
we can
back.
see?
Yeah, you can cut them down. They're just held in basic rags and cufflinks, it seems. Items that have been procured from the temple itself have been used to tie them up and string them there.
I hate to say this, but we should probably leave them like that, at least for now. Listen, the gnolls said there's a necromancer at work, and I would rather have the corpses tied up if that happens.
Alright. But we'll come back for them.
Yes. Besides, I wouldn't want to get ambushed during a barrier.
Alright.
Cal, you looking at these creatures, one of them is completely decaying. You can smell rots just coming out of their body. The other one seems to be a fresh kill, but the blood is all congealed around their body. The third one, you can see breath in their chest. Their eyes aren't there, but they're breathing.
Wait, guys. This one's alive. How?
Are you sure?
Yes, it's still breathing. Do any of us have healing magic?
We are about to enter a fight. Whatever spell I cast now, we won't have available. Besides,
If we
are
come
you
back
sure?
later, it might be dead.
I mean, I can always
Are you
claim
sure
his soul.
the troll?
You said you'd only do that if the creature was willing. Do you think in this state he would be willing?
I think he is more than willing to end his suffering.
But we could
Besides-
help him.
But would he attack us then?
In that state.
I mean, if you can bring him down, I have a cure wounds. I don't know if it helped or not.
We can at least try. Right?
I think
It won't bring us. It won't bring
we
us
need
ice
pretty
back.
strong magic to heal what's been done to him. Unfortunately, it might be more of a kindness to just, and would kind of gesture to the massive crossbow.
I
I
think
don't
Helen
think we
is
have
right.
the strength of magic to regrow that much skin.
Besides, would you
That's
unleash him onto these mountains blind? He'd die a more cruel death than we could give him.
Wait, but I thought his eyes are still there, or did I?
No, they're
Okay,
all
I
taken
misheard.
out.
Okay.
would do something like this. Do this to them while they were still alive and then to leave them in this state?
I
And in a
remember
temple?
All
Blasphemy,
kinds of creatures
obviously.
take joy in variety of cruel things. Not something we can understand.
I remember our guide telling us that perhaps a Yeti's eyes still work after being plucked out. Perhaps that was their objective. Though, even then, this depraved torture is...
Wait, is it one of the Yetis still alive? I thought it's just normal.
Mhm.
Yeah, then, come on. We just... I mean, don't claim his soul, but at least, like, stop his suffering. That's it. I have no compassion to my enemies.
Technically, we haven't fought any Yetis yet. We just ran away from one, but
Yeah, the one who tried to eat us or
Not even
kill us.
considered.
So-
No. That one ate gnolls, which we are
Yeah.
now
And-
fighting. So.
And
True
he
and
ran
true,
towards us. Yeah, and he ran towards us
Yeah,
just
he-
to give us a hugs.
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, it would be cruel of us to leave it here, and we can't help it. So
So, shall I, or you want to, someone wants to do the honors?
don't trust my ability to make it quick. So if you have a way to ensure that it goes quick.
Well, I can certainly
Actually,
try.
You
Oh, yeah.
claim to be able to reincarnate beings somehow. I
Yeah.
doubt this Yeti soul would find peace in the afterlife, so perhaps your cold arts could somehow help.
Yeah, but I'm helping only those who are who want to receive some help, not those who are oblivious. And the creature himself or itself should want to be reincarnated or at least be helped. So it's just easier to leave it to the judgments of the gods.
Well, the god certainly didn't help him.
Well, maybe they will help him in the next life or in afterlife. Who knows? It's not my business in any way. And I come
I did hear
closer.
good things about the Raven Queen, so maybe.
I come closer to the Yeti, which still lives. Take my rosaries and extend my hand. I try to aim to the place where supposedly they should have heart, and try to extend that ghostly arm and just pierce it.
Okay. You reach out and you can feel a beat. You can't say it's a heartbeat because it's so faint. It just sounds like tapping. Tapping that happens every 20 seconds. Just this slow patter of a heartbeat. There is life here, but it's struggling to live. And it's being kept alive, it seems. You hold it. Your hand grips it. And that beat stops. And the head, which was slowly holding itself up slightly, just end in its descent. No longer alive. The Yeti is slain.
Well, out of character, I do hope we receive a lot of XP from this kill.
Fucking hell.
Right, should move on.
Okay. You continue in, and at this point, you can see the entrance open into a large room where there are several statues depicting different shapes and styles. This room is illuminated. This is one of the first properly illuminated rooms that you've seen, and one which has not seen any destruction at all. There is no rubble, there is no broken pieces of stonework. Everything has been kept in immaculate condition. It's almost as though you're looking through a window in time for when this place was intact. You step through, and the first thing you notice is at the very end of this room, there is a large vault door made out of cast iron, huge in size. It is open to the right-hand side. This hole is illuminated from the inside, and you can see glimmers and colors of all sizes, and viscosity is shining through. There are some relics or gemstones or something inside causing this display of color, bouncing off of the lights. But you cannot see any items yet. But the vault door is open.
Do we see any prominent green light?
Or red?
You do not see any prominent colors of a specific color, no.
Oh, thank God.
Who is the first to walk through? You have Oren and
Yeah,
Harry leading
before
each other.
anyone says that.
Yes.
Is there creatures in the room?
Yeah. Can we look around?
Whoever wants to can roll a perception check.
Yeah, I definitely want to. Nice.
This guy's supposed to see stuff.
You step in and you don't see any dangers in this current room. But again, you can't see what's inside the vault. Perhaps there are some things moving in there, but you can't really see from this distance. It's about a 60-foot distance before you reach that point. But the statues themselves are clean cut. One depicts a almost ice-like figure made out of what looks like chiseled ice, stone almost inside, as though there is a layer of ice around the stone. This seems to be depicting some sort of feminine figure with almost like angelic wings at the back of them, as well as a winged helmet of sorts, which kind of goes up in a V-like fashion. You can see other statues and made of different materials as well, just laced around. But there is just this main vault door in the front of you. And as well, in the center of this room, there is a pedestal, it seems, one which would stand at about 5 feet off of the ground. But you can see that has markings across it which aren't illuminated. They are sigils placed in a formation which is familiar to those who are of an arcane practice, a teleportation circle, a permanent one, but this one is destroyed, inactive.
Would Helen recognize any of the figures? Like, are they heroes or gods or anything like that? If you take a look.
You can roll a history check if you want to, Helen.
Kat is specifically looking for maybe a depiction of Melora.
Okay. Helen, you begin to look around, and some of these statues ring somewhat in your mind. You can see at the far right-hand side, there is a statue of a serpentine head. One of almost like almost looks draconic in style, like a Chinese dragon of sorts. But however, it seems almost serpentine with the way that the features are more smooth rather than scaly and jagged like a dragon's. Seems to be very slick in design, and a large head that begins to coil around a body which you see almost glimmers, and the body itself of this snake almost continues to like wrap around itself, if that makes sense. It's almost like it's moving perpetually. The scales just drifting through. This figure is one that isn't really known to many. This is a figure that holds many stories of dread and fear, one which brings bad storms and bad luck in the weather. This is a creature known as an immortal titan. They are beings of the world themselves. This is what is known as a Crothaean or mortal, one which is nicknamed the Sky Serpent or the Storm Leviathan, the name of which is called Dormirion. And I will send a link of how to spell that.
Yeah.
These immortal creatures aren't active necessarily. They're all dormant. They were around a long, long time ago, mainly due to the gods being present in the world. Their presence caused all of these immortals to rise up from the earth and the ground to almost fight them off. There was this almost war against the two of them, yet the gods could not die by their hand, nor could the immortals either, and it left them in a stalemate, which caused only the people and the land to suffer because of these conflicts. These titans just fighting head on for years and years, just where the people suffered. But these are the stories that you know of. These are the stories that almost everyone understands. But Dormirion something about the Howling Mountains and that name almost connect. Demirion is known as the Sky Serpent. The Howling Mountains are almost like its valley in which it flies through.
Right? No thanks.
Can I roll a religion or history check to discern more creatures, or rather more statues?
Yeah, sure. You can roll a history check at advantage because these are statues, and your stones working history checks have advantage.
These are statues.
12. The statue that you were looking at previously, the one which is stone to the inside and ice to the exterior, almost as if the stone is the blood and the ice is the skin of this feminine figure. Angelic in look and design, they have 4 arms across their body, wings at the back of them, 6 wings in total, and 2 across this large helm. This figure is one which is present only in one specific region, but has moved to it only within the last 1,000 years or so. The name escapes you, but something about the Howling Breeze and its frozen pyramids. The Howling Breeze is towards the far eastern side of the Howling Mountains. It is a region almost like a bowl of sand, where all of the shale and wind and any beachside sand and anything that comes up from the western side is blown into the east and is held there within this almost desert of sorts. But an oddity amongst this dry, hot land are 3 pyramids made completely out of ice. And this figure seems to almost be a nexus point for these. This seems to be almost a religious figure that is seen in tandem with these pyramids. But the name doesn't stand out to you or anything like that, but the connection is there. Anyone else?
Cal would wander around the room and try and see if there's any sort of depiction of Melora. And if not, he'd get bored and check out the vault.
Cal, you begin to kind of examine the surroundings, and you can see that there are a couple of the statues that are here. One which looks different from the others. It's not a one depiction, it's rather 2 depictions. You see a horse being rode by an individual, yet this horse has 8 legs, and their body is slightly almost serpentine-like. I say serpentine because it's more long and almost comes to a defined point at the back, and the head itself almost seems to be along the body. Think more of like a salamander of sorts, but has the proportions of a horse, quite large and intimidating and armored as well. The person standing on the back of it seems to be wearing almost like a wreath of flowers across their head. Their face is made of stone, but the rest of their body is made out of an oaken wood, carved and shaped into a certain physique for that of a male. You can roll a history check if you want to.
Seven.
Your understanding of who this creature is or who this person is doesn't really stand out to you, but their look and the position and hold that they have is something of a hero of sorts, almost victorious in their stance. They have no weapon in their hand, but they almost hold their fist out with almost like a gauntlet with spikes at the end of it. Seems to be some sort of defiant figure, but you're not sure what context. You also want to head into the vault?
Yes.
Okay. You step into the vault, and the first thing you notice is large patches of fur. You see grey matted fur clumped together with bits of blood, as well as congealed pieces of skin, where yetis have been shaved. Their skin has been left on patches of this, and they've all almost been clumped together in piles, it seems. You see them to the left, you see them to the right, all kind of just interlaced and placed over one another, creating almost like this abode of sorts where it looks quite comfy, I'd say that. There's a lot of fur here. It seems like there's a patch which is almost indented by where someone seems to be laying or sleeping in, but there's no one present there.
I'm currently fighting the urge to say I set it on fire. If one were to set it on fire and then close the vault door almost completely, would the fire endanger the rest of the room? In theory.
No, not really, no, but it would damage the other stuff that's inside. That was the first thing we noticed, and it's the smell that follows. But as well, where that light was there's no fixed lighting point, the room just seems to be illuminated. You can see that there are large statues, large pieces of glyphs and golden paraphernalia, almost like bits of an archaeological dig have just been left here in this vault. You see artifacts, old, you see them pristine, perfectly maintained and left here. Some with etched carvings into the side of them, with runes, with writings, with words and depictions. There are many different things in this vault where the fur is almost placed on top of some areas as well.
From looking at this ensemble, and especially at the spot where someone had been laying, can I ascertain when there was someone in here the last time?
Sure, you can roll a survival check. Whilst Cal is doing that, anyone else?
After noticing that people are already going into the vault, I follow.
Okay.
And take my look around.
All right. I'd like you to roll another perception check, Oren, as you're kind of making a closer entry.
Helen's gonna kind of stand back at the precipice of the door and not quite go in yet, just kind of keeping an eye.
11. Okay. And Axon, what are you up to?
Yeah, we'll just like look after Cal going inside. If he will, of course, go inside.
Okay, then I'd like you to roll another perception check as well.
Okay. Second.
Oh, nice.
Sure. Okay. Cal, you notice that there has been recent movement. That bed, that large heavy patch where it's sunken in, that hasn't seen any movement recently. Maybe a day, less than. However, the other patches of fur and areas where some of these items were previously covered, you can see fur has been shifted onto the ground. Something has been moving within here and looking at these artifacts, searching. You also see these patches of fur. Some of them begin to move.
I notch an arrow and just barely pointed at where something is moving.
You point in that direction.
Yes.
Whilst that's happening, Axon, you hear behind some of these statues movement, like footsteps beginning to move and ready themselves in position. You hear the creaking of bows. You hear almost like the shangling of different items being hit against their wares. And you also begin to hear the vault door beginning to almost close. And this is where I'm going to ask all of you to roll initiative.
Can I at least warn them so we
Yeah,
get
you
company?
shout out.
Get out of like the vault. It's a trap.
It's a trap. Oh, nice. That's a net 20.
Dude,
Why did I waste
like,
it
in the
on
doorway.
initiative?
So close.
Yeah, Helen's
I mean,
in the-
initiative's good. You're gonna. If
Yeah.
anyone's gonna have high initiative, it's good. It's you.
Holy shit.
Hey.
Another net
Or
20.
me, I'll take it.
Damn. Okay, so
We take those.
I'm going to show you the map, and you guys are going to place
Right.
yourselves where you
Ooh.
see fit. This one. Yep. So, as far as I understood it, that Cal was essentially inside this vault.
Yep.
We had Orin beside him.
Oh,
Helen
even-
was
Closer to
between.
where? Sadly.
I can only see black on the map.
okay. That might be because your vision is off. Can everyone else see the map?
Yeah.
Again.
And the vision function is fascinatingly enough working. I can only see what Cal can see, which is fun.
Okay, let's see if.
But everything else is grayed, which is pretty cool.
How about now, Brooke? Can you see?
Nope, still black square. But I can see where everyone's cursors are moving around, so I don't think that it's not loaded, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's because she shouldn't have permission. You might have to change something there.
Vision mode. Okay, let's see if this works. I'll just do that. Does that help you see?
No.
Still nothing.
I can reload it quickly. And just
Okay, maybe
See if
that
that'll
might
help.
help. May Sealy will be somewhere around with Axon. Bum, bum, bum.
I can see.
Excellent.
Oh!
There we go. So you can place yourself between the vault doors. And we shall begin with the initiative countdown. So we'll start from the top. I had some natural 20s, so I'll start with a 30 to 25 just in case.
25!
25.
Okay, so because we're doing the you guys go at the same initiative, you guys can choose how you want to structure your turn. If you want to do an action, one of you, then the other one does a bonus action, a movement, and then a movement. You can structure it how you see fit. Just discuss between yourselves how you want to go about it. Just gives you a bit more flexibility there. So we'll do Helen and Cal. Then we have 25 to 20. Nope. Okay. 20 to 15.
Yes. Also
19.
excellent.
So we have a 19 and a 17. Damn, guys.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
No surprise round for whoever's fucking you up. Okay. I need to roll for Mace Sealy as well. Let's see. I always forget where this button is.
Next to the base stats.
Inish. Yes. Ini.
Ooh, Max!
Cool.
Did you have to balance on that 20s?
Yep. It just be that way. It just be that way.
Yeah.
Can we just paste the picture of a gnoll over that Maceely face?
Okay. Don't mind me. I'm just writing stuff. Okay. So, Helen and Cal, two of you are first to react. You're hearing the door behind you close as Axon shouts out, "Get out of the vault now. It's a trap." Helen and Cal, you currently have your bow pointed towards one of these patches of fur. which is beginning to move around. It's this one just here. How are the two of you proceeding?
Oh, sorry, I didn't see
Helen
which
just-
one you pointed at.
Just here.
Okay, so not near me. Well, yes, near me, but not right next to me.
Helen's just gonna kind of look at Cal and go, "This is your call, but these are closing. I don't know if we can hold them open."
Yeah, no, let's get the fuck out of here. Immediately.
Great. And I'm just gonna draw my sword and just kind of just wait until Cal moves the fuck over here to do anything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cast a spell myself, and then I'm gonna move. So I'm gonna cast Sapphire Strike on me, so my movement doesn't provoke any opportunity attacks.
Okay.
And then I'm fucking running away.
Excellent.
I'm probably gonna hide behind. No, I can't move that far. I'm gonna hide behind Axon.
Okay, cool. So you just
It's
begin
right-
to the wind.
Right in front of me.
Not if the enemies are coming from behind the statues.
They are.
From here, and from here, and I'm behind you.
Okay. So Cal, you just leg it out as quick as you can. Anything else on your turn?
Can I, as soon as I exit the vault, can I see anything? Any movement outside of the vault? Anything at the door specifically?
As soon as you leave and you begin to look at the door, knowing that it's moving, you can see just barely through the gap in which the door is kind of hinged upon. You see this heavily gnarled, larger than the other gnolls, hyena hybrid. But instead of the regular armor and weaponry that the others were carrying, you see this one has a large chest with a bony-like skull, full rib cage. You see it's been fashioned in a way that it looks like a complete chest piece that they wear, as well as a skull of some sort of humanoid creature across its head. You see it's large, muscly, and it's pushing the door by itself. It's trying to enclose you in.
Right. Perfect. Then I'm immediately going to use the second effect of Sapphire Strike, and I'm going to attack it with advantage. And if I hit, I get to do 1d8 extra damage.
Do you
Let's see
have
if I can hit it.
sharpshooter?
No, I sadly don't.
Okay, so this attack, because the door is in between you and it, there is only a gap, small gap that you can see it through. So the attack will have a penalty to it, if you wish to take that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still going to try it with advantage, and we'll see how it goes.
Go for it.
23.
That does hit, yeah.
Nice. And I do 1d8 extra damage, which comes to a total of 16 points of damage.
Nice. Okay. You fire the arrow through the metal beams that hold the door to the main setting, the seal. You fire it through. It lands in the side of their body, and they just grunt. And they just kind of take the hit.
Actually, because I'm mean, do I still get to use my piercer feat? Because then I get to reroll one of the d8s that is piercing damage.
Yeah, if you want to.
Amazing. Let's see if we can turn the 3 into something else. We can, into a 1. Okay, so it's only 14 damage.
He heals from the hit. So,
Oh,
okay, cool. And then we have, so Helen, you pulled your blade out. The door is closing.
I'm gonna step out. I guess I could see what, like, at least where Cal was attacking, right?
Yes, you could.
I kind of move up to, is it on this side, I'm guessing?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Kind of step up to this creature as close as I need to. I can't see if there's a token there, but step
Yeah, I
up
know
as
it.
close as...
It's between this side.
Where?
Here on the right. Can you see where I'm pinging?
Okay, cool. Yeah, can I... Oh, there it is. Can I get through that gap?
You can try to, yeah, if you want to give it a shot. It is bars and bits of metal that are poking out, so you can try and like jump through.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get through up, like, into its face.
Okay, I'm going to need you to roll an acrobatics check.
Okay. That's fine. This is doable.
18,
Nice.
easy. You get through. You basically find bits of the metal where you can slide your body through, and you just kind of kick yourself off of the wall, and you find yourself face to face with this large, bulky looking gnoll. One which is given the lion's share of the food, it seems. Where the others were brittle in their arms and kind of scrawny figures, this one is kind of pushing the metal door with one hand, and then sees you kind of approach to the side of it. The bones that decorate its body, you can see these are probably kills that it's had over the years. And it kind of looks down towards you.
Okay. I'm gonna try and hit it.
For it.
Let's see.
17 will hit.
Nice.
All right, and I'm going to try and do the fairy mesmer as well.
Okay.
So he has to make a charisma saving throw.
Definite fail.
Lovely. So the next attack or save he makes is at a disadvantage, and his emotions are heightened.
Okay.
Everything within 15 feet of me has their emotions heightened.
Okay. So you slice into this creature with your rapier. As it pierces into its stomach, you see it kind of like stop pushing the vault door at this point and look down towards you. I'm very hungry! As he just kind of looks down towards you. You've heightened its hunger.
Good job.
Anything else on your turn, Helen?
No, I don't have a bonus action, so that's me done.
Okay, Axon, you're up. So you had their activity behind you, behind these two statues. The one with the figure of a stone face to the left-hand side, and also the statue made of ice. There were two in that region. And I say with your perception check that you made, you can also see through parts of the ice to where there is another gnoll figure. This one wearing kind of long drapes of cloth against its body, but rather than cloth, it's most likely skin or bits of leather that it's gathered over the years.
Like, so, do I know how many enemies like in this room?
I'd say because of your perception check, you see the threats around you. There's 4. There's
So
one
one is
inside the vault,
there.
one by Helen, and 2 are behind those statues.
Okay. Well, let me check if I can reach. Yeah, I need to. Like, if I go there, can I see the snow? Like, or can I reach this?
You'll be able to see it around the corner, yes.
And reach? Can, like, 5 feet will reach him? Like.
You are just on the edge of your speed there, so unfortunately you won't be able to get within melee.
But I can go through the same gap.
You can attempt to, yeah. You can attempt to try and jump through. It is an acrobatic.
Yeah, that's on limbo, I fear. Oh well. So then I will do the following. I will again.
Bear in mind that there is one here in the vault, in a patch of fur, so you can see that one.
Okay. But if I go into this position, will I see this gnoll like
You will,
which
yes.
close in the vault?
Yes.
Okay. So I will go there. Oh yeah, now I see him. I will take my rosaries and point at him, and again the ghostly hand will try to reach and, caress his cheek for this one. but it will
Okay.
actually deal the necrotic damage. So
This is you just give it a little pull on the cheek, pulls
Yep.
skin completely apart.
so wisdom save,
Wisdom save at disadvantage because of Helen's mesmer,
yeah.
right?
Probably. Yeah.
So, natural one. Takes a full damage, so 1d12.
10 necrotic
Nice.
damage.
Okay. You pull on its cheek, and as you pull, you begin to pull off the skin, and then it begins to fester and bubble and boil as you just pull that part completely off with this spell. And it just kind of like, its tongue kind of reaches out and tries to almost eat it, eat the patch of skin that's been pulled off its face. But he just kind of decays in your hand as the spell finishes.
Don't worry, child. Soon the hunger will fade, and you will also fade into nothingness, and I will return somewhere where I was.
It doesn't pay attention to anything you just said, but you head back and move away from it. Ulrin, it's your turn. All of you rolled higher than them in the initiative order,
Nice.
so
Aside from me, Sealy.
yeah.
Rolled a 2.
Yeah, I basically just stumble into the room, a bit out of the vault. Where are they? And let's see. I was going to cast heat metal on the door, but it's already not moving. So I'll go with the next best thing and throw a guiding bolt at Thingy, the gnoll behind the door.
Okay. You can point the guiding bolts towards him. He will have a little bit of cover just because of the instruments in between, but you can still roll.
All right. Check. Is it a disadvantage or just penalized?
It's a straight roll. There'll just be a +2 to his AC.
Okay.
And 21 will be enough to hit him. So you finally hitting with a guiding bolt. You reach out and fire the guiding bolt in his direction.
Dealing 13 points of damage.
13, okay. Taking necrotic, radiant, and physical damage, this large, beefier gnoll takes all of the hits. You blast it with this ray of light against its chest. The rib cages in his armor just break apart as the holy light just disintegrates part of it. He's still standing, still angered, and kind of that hunger is just keeping him going. You see he just takes all of the hits, but he's kind of like wobbling on his stance now. Anything else, Ulrin?
By the way, my guiding bolt looks more like a chunk of molten metal.
Nice. Okay.
Let's see. No, that's most of me. Although I'll move out of the way a bit. Also, I shouldn't be able to move that far. It says I still have 25 feet of movement, which I don't.
No, you should have 20, I think. Because you didn't move too far.
Yeah. Oh, well, anyway. Then I'll flank Axon, trying to cover him a bit.
Okay, cool. So that's your guys' go. Now we have the Gnoll's turn. So the Berserker is the first up, the one that you've been damaging thus far. Left to their own devices with Helen, you see he picks up this. He doesn't have like a large weapon on him. He just pulls out his claws, and you see they almost retract. Rather than pop in, but rather pop out. So you see the claws extend further, and he looks towards you with these kind of intent in his eyes, and he just begins to ravage in your direction. He's going to start off with 2 claw attacks against you. So first strike, plus that's an 8 to hit. That'll miss. Second strike is a 18. Will that hit? Against Helen.
Back.
Yeah, it does.
Yep, my armor class is 18, so
Okay. So you take 7 points of slashing damage as he just claws it against your chest with one hand.
great.
And then
He takes some back.
how much will he take?
A D4, I believe, from the shield. Oh.
Yeah, from the carapace, yeah.
1.
1 point of damage
Nice.
is still something. He scrapes into your arm, but the shield kind of pokes him back. That's his 2 claw attacks. He then goes in for a bite against you. You see he just kind of extends his mouth outwards. He's going to try and chomp down. That's going to be a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Going to hit. That's going to be 5 points of piercing damage, and I'm going to need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, it takes 4 back.
Nice.
So that was how many total then? 5 and...
I wasn't really keeping count, unfortunately.
The
I
first
missed the
instance was
first one
7.
as well. 7, okay.
7 and
so
5.
12. And then wisdom save, you said?
On save.
Con save. Saving throw.
13. You succeed. You feel as the bite jams into your clavicle. There is some nasty infection that this gnoll seems to have, and it tries to spread that onto you, and you just kind of like shrug it off and push his mouth out of your side. Still large and intimidating figure. You see he just kind of looms over you with these wide, crazy eyes. That's the Berserker's turn. After his go, we have the guy hiding in the bushes, in the fur rather. You see Cal running at you with their tongue lolling to the side. This crazed-looking gnoll just kind of rushes out and tries to go towards you with a few strikes. So he runs up, and they're going to make a couple of strikes against you. You knew he was there, so there is no penalties or advantage on his end. So this
Thank
will
God.
be a straight bite attack against you. So we'll see. That's a 20 to hit. Will that hit?
Yeah, that would
Okay.
hit.
So not too strong. You will take 5 points of piercing damage as it just kind of like chomps into the side of your arm, rushing out and just trying to surprise you. That's the extent of its turn. It can't do anything else.
Oh, thank God.
After his go, one of the guys hiding behind a statue is going to reveal themselves. Armed with a bow in hand, you see they turn the corner and they're going to fire towards... We're going to roll a d4 for this. So we'll say 1 Ulrin, 2 Axon, 3 Mace Sealy, and 4 is Cal. So Mace Sealy. So the archer will fire 2 shots against Mace Sealy. It's going to be a 17 and an 11. So I've just got to check to see her. So AC is 13. So one of them will hit. So that will be 5 points of piercing damage to Mace Sealy. And she just takes an arrow to the chest. That's it for that gnoll as well. Now you see coming around the corner of the ice statue, this wearing like large pieces of leather dragging across its body. You see it's wearing elements and bits of seemingly priestly robes that have just been stitched together, Moradin priests and anything that it's collected over the years. You also see that it has a large staff in hand, a crooked design, it seems, of their own making, that it walks with, and it kind of like leans forward with a hunchback. This gnoll looks quite gnarly in its design. One large bulbous eye, the other one hollowed out and almost completely white in its appearance. You see it kind of looks forward.
Ah! Who goes here? Plundering our plunder, eh? I'm not a fan.
And you see as he kind of like looks around. Olrin, you're the first to notice this with your passive perception and kind of looking in this direction, protecting Axel. You can see that their neck has holes in it where you can see almost the vertebrae as well as the inner neck, like the breathing pipe and everything like that. You see it pulsing as he speaks and talks, as well as the chest. There are elements of the leather that's draped down, which is hollowed out and is moved to the side, and you can see almost like a stomach. His stomach bag hangs out the side of his chest, and you can see where the intestines almost wrap around and hold it tight to his body. There is something wedged into that stomach, as if it's been consumed and is poking from the inside out to the edges of this stomach. You can't tell what it is, but it just seems like he's eaten something and it's like stuck out of his stomach, seemingly. You see he reaches up to his staff, grabs these two small baubles, and he throws them forward. As they land onto the ground, these marbles just continue to roll and roll, and you almost hear these whispers of laughter beginning to cackle out of them as he summons two spectral hyenas to stand in between himself and Olrin. They themselves act during this same initiative as they are deployed, and they rush up, flying through the air. They don't need to flank because they have pack tactics, but they both go up against Olrin and begin to try and bite down into you. Their attacks are considered magical, so just bear that in mind. So, they have one bite attack each, and they will do so at advantage. So the first strike, I believe, is going to miss. That's a 17 against your AC.
Yeah, that misses. My AC is 19.
The second one, that's going to be higher. That's going to be a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, so you will take 8 points of piercing damage, but this is magical.
Hold on.
It rolled max damage. It just bites you on the side of the arm, and its fangs, its teeth, just bed themselves through the armor and into your flesh. It just kind of holds itself there for a moment as you're trying to wriggle it off. A very strange sensation fighting away a spirit because there is no tangibility to them. They feel real, but they aren't necessarily fully there. That's its turn. So that's the chief's turn. Now we go to Mayseely. Mayseely will do a classic Eldritch Blast and is going to shoot one of the hyenas. So we'll do the Eldritch Blast. Hopefully this all works. Attack. Normal roll. 21. And then 8 points of force damage. That is enough to kill one of the hyenas. So
Nice.
she blasts away the one that missed you. She just the force damage just creates the apparition to just disappear in a cackling stream of mist, and they are no longer. There's only one remaining of the hyenas. With that, she's going to move herself behind this statue to get some cover, and that will be the extent of her turn. Now we go at the top initiative with Helen and Cal.
Let's go.
I would definitely move first because Sapphire Stark is still up. I rolled the concentration save. So I still don't provoke any attacks of opportunity, so I'm gonna move the fuck away from that guy and join Mayseely in hiding behind the statue. Okay, no, I can't see the guy. I want to see the guy. So I'm gonna stand there, I guess. Whilst we've been running through this room, moving through it, have we seen anything that looks like an exit that would lead even deeper into the temple? Or does it look like this is the final room?
You've had a look around, and this place is being kept pristine. Unless you were to try and find a secret passage of sorts, which takes some time to look through. On a glance, this is all pretty much it. The only exit is the one you came through.
Wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear. And I'm gonna drop Sapphire Strike and switch to Hunter's Mark, and I'm gonna mark this guy, Necromancer, and I'm gonna shoot him.
All right. Go for it.
Let's see. Ooh, 14?
14 will miss. Just barely
Yeah, that's
misses.
what I thought.
AC of 15. You shoot your arrow, but you see they almost have this sixth sense about them, and they just move out of the way and just look towards you with this steely eye.
I wave, and then I hide behind the statue.
He just gestures quickly. Okay, then Helen, you're still facing the berserker.
How healthy is this fella looking?
He's bleeding profusely, but that doesn't seem to be stopping him.
Huh. I'm also bleeding profusely, but
Yes.
that may stop me. Is there any way I can move myself without getting stabbed? The answer is not really. Yep, I'm just gonna try and continue to hit him.
Okay.
He's right up in my range, so just... I would like this to hit, please.
Wow. Natural 20.
We
Let's see
gotta
how hurt he
go-
is after this. 14.
Pretty please, is he dead?
That's exactly how much HP he had left. So you...
I will live another turn! I will live another turn!
You would have had 3 attacks on you otherwise. So you, with the rapier, you stab into his chest, and you kind of see him kind of looks down at the blood that's pumping out of his body, and he just looks at it and goes, "Food!" He just begins to drink up his own blood as he tries to try and stave himself alive somehow. And as he's kind of falling and faltering on his feet, you see he begins to lean against the door, and the door begins to close further and further. The berserker then just kind of leans on the door and falls to the ground as it continues to try and soak up its life force, thinking that it's going to save him, but it doesn't. So he is no longer. But the door is now halfway closed, which I can't move. So just imagine.
That's fine. From here, can I... Like, from where I'm stood, can I still see out the hinges of the door, or because
Yes.
of where it's swung, is it still...
You can, yeah.
Okay.
Where
I'm
it
just
is
gonna
positioned
kind
at the moment, you can see Ulrin, you can see the hyena, and you can also see the chief beyond.
Okay. Is the purple thing the chief?
The purple. This is the blue one at the bottom, which I don't know if you
Okay,
can
I
see.
can't quite see that, so I'm gonna... I cannot see, so can I just... Am I allowed to stand on the door? Will it let me?
It might
Oh,
not. Don't know.
Okay. It's thinking it's a wall. I'm just gonna move myself basically here so I can see.
Yep.
But I'll just stay kind of stood half behind the door as like cover, and
Cool.
then step out a bit so I'd be able to aim the crossbow at the main dude without being fully exposed. So I'll stand kind of on the edge of the door.
Excellent. So you kind of ready yourself in that position. Cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
You're up.
That's me good.
Oh, yeah, it's me. Yeah. Okay. What's the lighting condition in this room? Like, is it?
It's bright. Yeah, it's very bright.
It's not a dim light. So yeah.
No,
Oh,
this is bright.
That's what I feared. Yeah. Then I will go there. And yeah, you will see actually how I take out Is it sickle? Yeah, I think it's sickle. Yeah, sickle. And put not the rosary, but the other hand which holds the shield above it, and you can almost hear how the wind starts to howl, even though it's a closed space. This like sickle starts to hum, and Axon just closes his eyes and starts to like almost dance on one leg, like jumping on one leg and sway. It's like his hand with the sickle like a waterfall, and I need to like make attack against both of them.
Okay.
I think just let me link it because it's
What is happening?
I don't know.
it's yeah, Iron Wind Strike. So
Okay.
I try to hit them, make a melee attack against each target. So first it will be Archer,
Mm-hmm.
and to hit him I need to 14.
14 does hit an archer, yes.
Okay, and then the next one is against the mage. What's it, 12?
That'll miss, unfortunately.
Yep. And on a hit, target takes 3d8 damage of the weapon damage type.
Nice.
Okay, so one takes 15 damage, the archer only. And I will
Cool.
teleport next to the mage one.
Okay, cool. So with this kind of quick slice into the air, one of the gnolls begins to bleed profusely whilst you teleport to the other one. Very anime, blink and you miss it, appears and disappears, stands by him.
So basically, Exxon just jumps first, like in a really quick succession to the archer and slash him like from at the back, and then like returns back to his position and appears jumps next to the. But that one.
You appear
misses.
right next to the gnoll chief. At this point, you can see it clearly. As the gnoll chief kind of sees you appear beside him, you can see that stomach bag that hangs out the side of his belly, that holds what looks like a book. He seems to have swallowed a book, and it's resting in his stomach.
I keep
That
saying
is
those
good
books
for
are
him.
dangerous.
Yeah. You're supposed to read those, not eat.
But there's hunger in knowledge.
You don't need to take it literally.
I did and it worked. Ha!
He just begins to laugh to himself.
This is the great danger. We've come here to fight. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay, is that your turn, Exon?
Yeah.
Ulrin, you're up.
Okay, I'll cast a spiritual weapon next to the little hyena ghost.
Yes.
Over here, I don't have a token for that.
Okay, we'll just use a second you.
Awesome. Can I mark myself somehow?
I will change the color of your token.
Or maybe make the second one a bit smaller.
Yeah, I'll mess around.
Okay, that works.
You will mess around.
Okay, that is a. Give me a second.
What does the weapon look like?
Actually, a simple smithing hammer.
Very nice.
Adorned, obviously, with the sigil of Moradin.
Clearly.
Okay. Then cast spell. Oh, okay, I can actually place the thing.
Oh. Does it have a
Yes.
token itself?
Give me a second. Seems to have done something. I
Ooh.
think, maybe.
I see a
Yeah, you
square.
placed. Yeah, the
There's
measure.
a square.
Yeah, so it's basically you choose where it appears. You basically need to put another token in that position, I think.
So you have to put
Back
the
to
token.
what we
Okay,
had.
Baden.
Can you move it or like?
I'll
yeah,
just leave that there.
Yeah. You need.
Wait, place measured template.
All right, roll to hit. See how
Okay,
it goes.
let's see. This isn't considered flanking, right?
No. I don't believe the weapon counts as a flanking ally.
Damn.
That's a good point.
It does
Okay,
not,
that's a
because it's
crit.
incorporeal.
That didn't matter.
Not that you need it. Goddamn.
This thing already has a +5 bonus from my spellcasting ability. I don't think the hyena ghost can survive that.
No. You didn't even need to roll a nat 20, you just needed to hit.
Yeah,
But
that's
still
14 points of force damage.
The very basic rudimentary Moradin hammer just taps one on the back of the head and just explodes into these wisps that fly out. The hyena is dead.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
the sound isn't a simple bonk, but rather like smashing into an anvil. A very
Dong.
metallic
Yeah.
sound. Okay,
Nice.
then I use my action to dash. And this is considered flanking, because fuck this guy in particular.
Yes.
Okay. Enough with the pets.
Okay.
Pets.
Go ahead. Roll with advantage.
Oh, he
I
doesn't have an
can't attack him. I don't have an action.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Excellent.
can.
Because
Oh, I was waiting for the attack.
Can't, sadly.
You threatened him and then just didn't.
Oh, no, I'm way too slow.
Okay.
He's just raising his weapon, ready to strike.
Oh.
Maybe I try to distract him this way, so Axon has a better shot. Who knows?
As you kind of make yourself known, he does turn to you, Ulrin, and you see that one large eye that he has just kind of poking out of his brain. You see him just stare towards you. Would you like to be my pet? See, as you enjoy them already, I can sense there is an opportunity inside of you. Are you a Moradin priest, perhaps? I've turned many of your kind into my pets over the years.
Then I will avenge every last one of them.
All
Die in
would
fire.
You know, you should consider this kind of, or he ate the book, so he is kind of smart now.
He ate a book and he's smart now. Deal with it.
That's how that works, right?
That's how that works.
Yep.
Okay, now after Ulrin's turn, we have the other gnoll. So the grunt is going to rush up to Cal and he's going to try and make
You
another bite.
literally left me there, no? Leave this.
The bite attack is going to be a 17 to hit.
That just hits. My AC is 17.
This guy's bite is shit as well. 4
Why
points of
does this
piercing
guy
damage.
keep fighting me?
This is like a baby gnoll. He's just teething on you. He's just kind of like, he's got no teeth. He's actually just a granddad. He's just an old man now. He's rushed out. He's been brought out against his will. He's here a part of the tribe,
Well,
just doing his
If
part.
he bites me another time, like a third time, I'm dead. He will successfully have gnawed me to death.
The
How much damage?
the other gnoll is going to.
Wait, sorry. How much damage did I take?
That was 4. 4 points of piercing
Okay.
damage.
I might survive 4 bites.
This
Maybe.
other gnoll is going to position themselves with a longbow and just begins to spin around on a dial and is going to fire randomly again. So we'll do Ulrin, Axon, Cal, and
Wait, how can it see me?
And how
Or is
can
it-
he see me? I cannot see him.
I
He
can't
rushes
see
out
him either.
further.
Oh no, wait, I can see him. I can see him. Okay,
Oh yeah,
okay.
now I can see him. Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, now, there he is.
So we have the 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, that's going to be Axon. It's going to
Oh.
fire 1 against you. That's going to be a 17 to hit.
Nope.
Okay, then it's going to go spin around again. 2 again. So it's going to shoot another arrow. Natural 19 this time.
This guy's the null equivalent of a roulette.
So that will most
This
likely
will
hit.
hit. Yeah, this will hit.
So it's going to make. It's going to be 7 points of piercing damage.
Yep.
And that's its turn. It's just it finishes spinning around, and goes whoa, and just it's just there, just not really knowing where it is at the moment.
Why do you even spin if you hit me twice?
The
360 no scope.
The chief's turn. You see, he is going to grab his staff, and looking at the two of you next to him, you see he begins to cackle at himself. Grabs one of the baubles and eats it.
I'm eating stuff.
As it does, you see the bead through the holes in its body go down its neck, its stomach, and eventually reach where the book is. And you see from his stomach, this black ink begins to grow out and around and try and whip the two of you. So I'm going to need both of you to roll. This will be wisdom saving throws.
You have quite a weird, tendencies to eat stuff which you don't supposed to. Wait, I have the wisdom save at advantage. Should be. I don't know why it didn't ask me. So it's.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Axon, you're going to take half damage, so you take 6 points of necrotic damage. Orin, you're going to take the full amount because you failed. That's 12 points of necrotic to you. So this is just a general attack. So this isn't anything against your armors or anything like that. It's just a spell radius. It lets out that, and the light is brought back to normal, and the spell fades away. The attack takes place, and that's it. That's the extent of its turn. Yep, that's it. So now we move on to May Sealy. May Sealy is going to go around, and she can't really hit for shit when it comes to melee, so she's going to shoot an Eldritch Blast at the archer, and we'll see if she can do anything. So Eldritch Blast, attack roll, 14 does hit an archer, and the damage, 6 points of force damage. That is enough to kill it. Rolling on that one doesn't really matter. So the archer was already badly wounded from the previous strike from Axon, and now the Eldritch Blast is kind of there, whoa, dizzy. May Sealy just fires an Eldritch Blast its way, and it just knocks it out onto the ground, completely dead. No longer a threat. Now we move on to Helen and Cal. The two of you are up.
Alright, do you want to go first this time?
Yeah, sure. So how are, between the two that are left, like how's the purple one looking?
They both haven't been hit at all.
Okay. How are Maisie and Cal looking?
Horrible.
Maisley's looking okay. She's taken some scrapes, but yeah, she's all right.
Essentially, what I'm imagining is the purple gnoll is just hanging off of Cal's arms, where he has his teeth buried in his arm, and it's just ignoring on it, and Cal's just, this hurts. Okay, stop, get off. That's what I'm imagining, at least.
Nice. So I'm gonna pull out the heavy crossbow, which still has the curse on it, because that just stays until I sleep.
Yes.
So gonna roll to attack. I don't think that gives me a bonus, but I'll double check.
Oof.
Ooh, sweet.
No, I don't need it, so never mind.
25 hits.
And then is cool. damage, and then
Oh,
and
fucking
then
hell.
the extra D4 is cold.
Yeah. This guy has no resistances whatsoever. So you just shoot it in the side of its neck, and the cold energy just begins to course down its body. And where it's bit onto Cal's arm, that part of the jaw just kind of snaps off, just shatters to pieces as it kind of falls off his arm. Still kind of there, little HP left remaining. It just kind of like whimpers up and begins to look at Cal with these puppy dog eyes.
Okay, I don't
Oh,
have any
no.
bonus action, so that's me. I'm gonna stay where I am.
Cool. Cal.
Alright, Cal's just like, taking care of
Don't
the puppet
kill me,
again. and just-
please.
Yeah, no, leave me alone. Get away from me. Just get cush. He's just gonna turn its back on it because he doesn't consider it a threat. And he's gonna refocus on the necromancer in the back.
Okay.
And he's gonna try and shoot him again. Let's have it work this time. Pretty please. Attack. Oh, come on, what is this? Fine. Hell doesn't hit him and instead goes and sulks in a corner.
The arrow just goes wide and doesn't hit, unfortunately.
Ah,
So, Cal.
it's fine.
Okay. Axton's turn.
Yeah. Good, I don't know what to do. I don't believe, like, from the look of this, like, no. Can I at least, like, guess that he is resistance to necrotic damage?
You can roll an insight check if you want to.
Yeah, I definitely want to. 25.
You get the sense that whatever he's doing is actually fucking up his internal organs.
Oh,
So he
So
is
he-
not resistant whatsoever.
poor guy. Yeah, then. Oh, yeah, but he wasn't damaged at all.
It's
I
not
mean, who cares? It will still, I hope, deal more damage. So, wisdom save from him. I will try
Wisdom
again to, like, reach his cheek.
That's a failure.
And- okay, so it's just a normal one, I believe. Yeah, so it's 4 necrotic damage.
Okay, well at least now he's injured. Cool.
Yep.
You,
And I believe. Fuck, I need to stay because. Yeah, I will stay there. Sure.
You don't need to stay.
Yeah, but I mean, then you lose the flanking.
I mean, to be fair, I have 6 HP left. I
Yeah,
might just heal myself instead.
I mean, I have a bit more, but then I will just go. Like, I will take the attack of opportunity if he will try.
yeah, he will. So you see with the staff, he's going to reach out and try and rake you at the back. It's got like a hand claw at the end where all of these baubles and things hang off the end of it. So he's going to make an attack. Natural one. So misses.
Yeah, so, I will be there, and then...
Awesome. Then we have Ulrin.
Can I move somewhere to see what is happening there?
If you press escape, can you not see everything?
Nope.
Okay. Well, for the purposes of this, I may as well just get rid of all of the walls. But continue.
No, I mean, I remember where I am, I just look there.
Cool. So Ulrin.
Okay, the spiritual weapon is unfortunately not in range to do anything useful other than finishing off this one. No. Also, I haven't
can
been
move
part
it
of those
15
peace
feet.
talks, so. Also, that thing is apparently immovable.
I don't think peace is an option anymore.
Can I?
I don't think peace was ever an
No,
option.
I can just make a new thing. Awesome.
Yeah.
I can't move this. I
Just
can't
leave
interact
it there.
with it.
It's a measure, I think you need to...
It's there forever
know.
now.
I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, that's another attack with that. So I have to pull that out again.
There's not much of this gnoll left, so it won't take much to kill it.
Okay.
I think, yeah. Roll damage, but I think it'll be enough.
Yeah, probably.
As it's there at the feet of Cal and Macelia saying, please let me live. You just smash it down with the hammer, just fucking blood everywhere. The old grandma Benjamin Button baby Noel dies.
What? The what?
That's your bonus action.
What?
Benjamin Button Noel baby. No.
No, you said grandma first. There
True.
are layers.
You have your action still, Oren?
Yes. I'm just checking the options of the command spell right now. Okay. I try to command the Gnoll Chieftain. Halt! Which means if it fails a wisdom save, it can't take action nor move.
Okay, this is quite an important roll. I'm just going to show you guys the roll because I think that would be more interesting. So here we go. This is 1d20. It's bonus to wisdom saves, is it?
Yeah, it's a wisdom
Plus
save.
1. So it's not very good good hopes. 13.
Yeah,
It
that doesn't
fails.
save.
So you shout halt and you just hear like some gastric movement in its stomach. And it just kind of like stays there, frozen.
Oh, this is good. I might still get to shoot this thing. I just want to shoot it once.
This is the end of your turn, Ulrin?
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of your turn, it is the chief's turn. He cannot do anything because he is halted by the command, and he spends his turn standing still. During this time, Macelia will... What do you guys want Macelia to do? Do you want her to shoot the chieftain, or...
How is
I vote for murder.
Okay.
how is the chieftain looking?
Chieftain's
you
only
wanna shoot
taken
him?
1 instance of damage, which was from...
Okay, yeah, then we want her to shoot him.
Violence against the chief, because I'm assuming she can't heal anyone.
No, well, let's see. 8 points of false damage. That's against the chieftain. He just takes it like a champ. Okay. At the end of Macelia's turn, at the end of this initiative round, you all focusing on this chieftain Knoll at this point. You see not running, nor a large presence. Instead, you see a tiny figure run through the doors in which you originally came from, as you see hopping out of the shadows Tuco. You see he is leaving a trail of sweat behind him, which is a pool of random pearlescent colors. And as he kind of, oh no, he hops into this combat scenario, and he looks around.
There's a creature coming. There's a big creature coming.
And he is going
In a
to
second.
hop over. His movement speed is 25, but he has a 10-foot leap. He's going to go this way. So he runs up, and he's going to hop in that direction. As he just kind of jumps over and begins to hide.
Where's Z?
What happened to Z? Where's she? Yeah, she's outside. Where is she?
What's more important?
What?
What's happened to horses? What's
are
latest, like
We are
apple and pineapple?
Um,
I didn't hear what Max said. Sorry, could you repeat that?
he said, they're fine. You're the ones in danger.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
So,
What are you doing here then?
tried to reach you, but you were too far away.
Yeah.
message spell can only go too far.
Mm.
Helen and Cal, you guys are the first to act.
Shoot him, please.
Yeah, shoot this dude. Try to
This-
get rid of this problem
this
before
one-
we have another problem.
Just once, please. 22!
That hits. Roll for damage.
Yes, and so I get extra d6 to Hunter's Mark. Yay! 11 points of damage. I'm gonna reroll that d6 though.
19 hits.
Okay, that only improved by 1, but 12 points of damage from me.
Jesus.
14.
Helen hits like a truck. Okay. The two of you fire your bolts, fire your arrows. The creature, the halt spell ended at at the end of his turn, basically. That was the completion of it. He took his turn to halt. He stood still. He did no actions. And thus, as he kind of like stands there, begins to regain his consciousness, these arrows just begin to hit into the side of him. One of them slices into his stomach, and the stomach just rips open slightly to where you can see the fold of one of the books. And he just kind of stands there. He's still standing, but he is very, very injured. Do you guys want to move anywhere?
I'm gonna slide. Oh, can I? I can get over to where they are, and or I can't because of the door. But
Yeah, I want to get
over
a bit
here,
more towards
and-
the middle so I can see the door.
can I use my bonus action to try and like yank? I think I shot the guy who was here once, trying to just yank my crossbow bolt back out of him.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Yeah, you can just take your crossbow bolt free, so you don't lose one. Cool. All right, Axon, you're up next.
Yes, I was here.
Yep.
Well, hearing but not seeing, or actually I can close. Yeah, it's an action. No. I will heal myself with the cure wounds, and cast it there.
Cool.
Smart.
Yeah, as the.
I would if I
first.
could.
So 8. I received 8 healing, and yeah, it's. I don't know why, but it's constantly keeps resetting my HP there.
Okay, that's your turn.
Yeah, and I will move, but
Okay, cool. Ulrin.
I'm there.
Okay, first off, I'll move my spiritual weapon closer.
Mm-hmm.
And then, how hurt does he look apart from being infested with some kind of necromagic thingy?
He's looking very, very hurt. You can see he's bleeding profusely from many orifices, both self-inflicted and otherwise.
Hey then. Then I'll use Searing Smite.
Mm-hmm.
Although no, I can't. It's a bonus action, and I just move the thing.
If you wanted that to be your action instead, I'll allow you to retroactively do it because you can't reach with your spiritual weapon.
Okay. Then I'll just put that back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. Yeah, I ignite my hammer and forge flames and raise it high above my head, dropping it down onto the wounded necromancy gnoll.
Go for it. Come on.
Dim.
That better does something. Fuck.
No! But also, welcome to my pain.
You strike down. The hammer just hits onto the ground, just missing completely.
But you don't lose this smite, right? It's still on.
No, it's there, but I have 6 HP.
Yeah. That's the way. Okay. Is that your turn, Ulrin?
Yeah, that was my turn.
So,
Good move.
Chief is next.
I mean, if I die by his action or by moving away and eating an opportunity attack,
Very
I mean, I'd
successful.
rather have him consume his action.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Is that your turn?
Yep.
Knowing that it's outnumbered and wanting to leave alive, it is going to try and run away from you.
Okay,
Oh,
I'll
it's your
opportunity
chance.
attack if I can.
Yeah, of course you can.
Alright. Attempt number 2.
Kill him. Kill him dead.
Murder.
Kill him.
Yes!
Kill
That
him
hit.
dead. Smite. Smite on the reaction. Let's go.
Okay, and that's another d8 of fire damage.
Okay. Okay. I was going to say,
Nice.
just don't roll a 1 because he had 2 HP after your hit.
Yes.
But how would you like to kill him off? This is the final blow to the boss.
Hey,
Let's do.
Yeah, and before I drop my hammer into the ground because of him stepping back, I assume he used that to gain some distance and run past me. And I rip my hammer from the ground and hurl it sideways into his stomach area.
You, like a golf club, swing upwards from this downward motion. And as you hit into his chest, the hammer clips the top of his head, and his head goes flying off into the tunnel. The small smoldering flames around the head illuminate bits of the tunnel as it just flies through.
Uh-oh.
And as it does, this is when you begin to see something, a shadow in the distance beginning to grow closer, a large figure beginning to step into this room. But it's still a ways away yet, but it is coming. That was the chief's turn. He tried to sprint as fast as he could. That's his go. Maysili is going to, hearing the words of hide, it's going to hide behind this
Blood.
head. So we'll see. I'm going to roll a stealth check for Maysili because that'll be her action. And we'll see how well she does. 18. Okay. So at this point, as we enter the top of the initiative, you have 1 round before this creature does arrive. So I'm going to give you each an option to do something. You see Tuco is keeping dead silent, and he's running behind the horseman statue. He is completely hidden from sight and just kind of nuzzles himself inside of it. The rest of you can act as you see fit.
Does anyone have healing? Because as far as I'm aware, 4 of 5 of us are significantly fucked up.
Yep.
Well,
I'm all out of healing. I have this healing self, but that heals 1 HP per minute.
A
that
minute.
doesn't sound too. Yeah.
If people are able, they should at least heal themselves.
Well, I
I'm gonna
healed
be honest,
myself.
I
almost
exaggerate. Like I'm only at half, and I'm still okay. Let's say it like that. I have 15 HP left.
Can I at least take a sip of Orin's brew for moral support or something?
You've just vanquished a foe.
Nice.
I will say as well, as you are there, Olrin, looking at the corpse, you have the main body of the gnoll there. The stomach bag does kind of burn away, and you can see a book left there in its place. A very fine crafted book with a metallic trim along the edge of it, all in white, but the main sigil in the middle is that of Moradin's sigil. You see that in like almost a bronzish orange color. Very kind of bright, very holy, it seems, text of sorts.
I think you should give it Helen.
Fuck no! He has
Yes.
way too many
Helen-
books already. And she
Helen
has
the
one.
librarian.
Give Helen magic books. Give Helen magic books. It will only
Yeah.
go well.
Quick question, Max.
Yes.
This is the first time I'm playing a ranger. If I don't move Hunter's Mark now, do I lose the spell?
No, you still have it active for that.
Okay, so I can move it to a different target
I
at a
believe
different.
so, yeah.
Okay, good. Then I don't have to do anything. And I'm just gonna hold my action for if something steps through the door and attacks somebody, I'm gonna shoot it.
Okay, are you hiding? Are you keeping in the open? What's the...
I'm staying. No, that's. We can try and hide from it.
I'm gonna hide. But where am I gonna hide?
This
I'm gonna
center
hide
bit
behind
is
the dragon
raised,
thing.
right?
It's raised, but
I'm gonna
because
use
of
my action to
height,
dash then.
it's not. You could lay against it and crawl if you wanted to around, and hopefully they don't see. It's kind of like playing hide and seek. Depending on how good the seeker is, they might see it, they might not.
Hmm.
So
I'm
Cal, you
gonna
can
hide
kind of-
behind the dragon.
Yeah, I'm
Open.
just gonna go here and then take a knee with the crossbow only aimed at the door.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing.
So basically more trying to get cover than fully hide.
Yeah, understood. So basically, the two ranged attackers, are placing themselves in advantageous positions, holding their arrows and weapons tight. Cool. Then what about the rest of you?
The tactically smart decision would be to actually hide, but I feel myself very drawn to this book with the Moradin sigil.
It's right there by your
Get
feet.
it off.
You just have to. You can pick it up with a free action. It doesn't take much.
Or that.
Yeah,
And
almost
then sprint
enchanted.
back there.
Almost enchanted by this book lying around, hearing basically the voice of destiny calling out to me. All the blood loss is getting to Oren.
The ringing in the ears is definitely something.
But wait, I think the gnoll should die somewhere there because he was like exiting
Correct.
the reach,
His
so
body
it's not
lied-
so far.
His body lied next to Olrin. His head went flying into the tunnel.
Yeah. So you can
Then
take it and sprint there. Yeah.
Then I pick up the book and regaining my sanity for a bit. I also choose to hide.
Cool.
A token collide. There's someone.
No
But I
worries.
can
move
Probably
first
because there's a
there.
wall.
Yeah, and
There.
Yeah, you can move around.
Oh wait, I have to move myself back a bit because I can't see my thingy. What's it called?
Spiritual.
Yeah. And I hover it pretty much into the middle of the room, basically acting
Okay.
as bait.
Cool. Very nice. And Axon?
Why are all of you over there? all
None of us have
over
enough.
there.
We
You
didn't.
got
I
two-
would have run
you
over
got
there, but I
two
didn't
around
have
us
enough
somewhere.
movement speed.
Okay, it's okay, it's okay.
All right.
Honestly,
I-
Tuko may be our strongest combatant right now, considering the HP.
Where's that statement? There's 15 HP left. I'm okay.
Yeah, we'll stay
Pushing
there
so
where
far.
I was and,
Yeah.
try to hide, hold, my breath and try to not make any noise.
Okay, cool. I'd like you to roll a stealth check as you're actively hiding.
Yeah. I'm not very good at those, so,
I mean, aren't we all actively hiding?
You can spend an action to do so, or you can hold.
Okay, fair enough.
You have a passive stealth, basically.
Okay.
I have got that in consideration. So if you roll lower than your passive, it just means you have your passive. If you roll higher than that, then that is the average that you have. But you have all positioned yourselves. You've all hit and some prepared weapons and ready to strike. This is when you begin to hear the footsteps. You hear what sounds like almost boots against stone. But the soles of these boots sound like they're grinding against the stone, as though they have metal treads or made of stone as well. It's almost scratching and breaking some of the stonework as it gets closer and louder and louder. You all see this large creature, furred, hairy. It stands through the door.
Fuck no. Oh no.
You hear it sniff in the air, and it begins to look around this space. The gnoll on the floor, it just crushes with one footstep.
Oh yeah, I deserve that.
The rest of it begins to look around its brow furrows. You see it's just completely covered in fur or hair, just dangling across its body. Olrin, and we'll say Cal and Helen, because the three of you were kind of actively staring at that spot, I'd like the three of you to roll perception checks as well. Mycelia and Axon deciding to hide.
Do our
Oh, God, what,
held
like,
attacks go
what is it
off
with me
as
and
well?
perception checks? Why do I suck at them?
I'll allow you to say if they do or not. Doesn't seem to be like acting aggressively in this moment. It's not. It might not have seen you yet, so there is still the element of surprise if you want to spring it. But with your perception rolls, Olrin, I'd also like you to roll a. This would be for you. I'll ask a religion check, but rather use your wisdom instead.
Okay, so basically a wisdom check +1.
Yes. Okay. It begins to look around the space, and its eyes almost light up for a second as it steps forward straight. It moves over the central large platform, this once teleportation circle. Some of the bits of stone break underneath its feet as it continues to walk. And you see it's reaching out towards that hammer. You see it's almost trying to grab the handle of it with this like curious look in its eyes. Olrin, you notice that this creature has maybe a connection, a familiarity with what this represents. You see it hold it and can't wield or pull it away because it's a spectral item, but you see it kind of like holds it for a second, and you now hear Helen, you could hear it muttering under its breath. It says one word which doesn't really have any meaning. A word, I'm trying to find what that word is now.
Moradin?
Not Moradin, no. Where did it go?
Other?
There it is. You hear it just say, Nakuma, 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 Nakuma. Has no meaning to you, Helen. But for Olrin, you hear that, and it's Dwarvish. It's Dwarvish, and the word is translated master. He holds the hammer. Nakuma, Nakuma. Begins to look around, and you see it looks at the vault door, which is slightly closed in its position. Begins to look around, flaring its nostrils for a moment, and continues to walk forward. Helen and Axon, where you guys are currently positioned, as well as Olrin, if it were to turn, it will see you. Are you going to try and move away from its sight and move around the statues?
Yeah. I mean, I will definitely.
Helen would just kind of look over at, would give people an opportunity to move, and then just kind of look over at Cal and give Cal a like, do I shoot it kind of expression.
Cal's just gonna make a little. No, wait, just a second.
I want to roll an insight check. When it says master in Dwarvish, does it seem revering or respectful in some kind, or
Roll,
more
yeah,
like
roll an
an
insight check.
ex-slave?
I'll give you advantage on the insight check.
The insight.
Slave.
saying.
I'm sliding into its mind.
Oh boy. Get out of there.
Tell you what, he's diving too deep. Get out. You begin
He
to.
dug too deep and too greedily.
His expressions are more human than you'd expect. His expressions, the way he looks, his pronunciation of Nakuma is almost a broken language. And this is when you begin to notice between the tufts of fur that he has around him, he wears a large belt around his waist, one which has a symbol of Moradin emblazoned into it. You can roll an Arcana check if you want.
Oh boy.
Gnoll did say that he turned several of your fellows into his pets.
7. You're not sure what this belt is, but it seems to have a magical sheen to it. It was created with some sort of infused magic. You can see it's around his waist, and he walks with finely crafted boots, but the fur and hair seems to just cover most of them. The way he looks at the hammer, the way he speaks, is one of a tortured soul who has lost something, has lost someone, or maybe multiple people. There is a sorrowness in his expression as he looks at that hammer and grabs it with care and a softness. His eyes dart up to the vault door because you sense a need of protection, safety, sanctity, to ensure whatever's in there is safe. And you see it walk over Nakuma, and grabs the side of the vault door and pushes it closed.
And here I was hoping will enter, and we could close it there.
Yeah, couldn't you have closer behind him? I mean, yeah, like, we couldn't have helped him, but still.
As he closes the door, you see against the door is wrapping around it several times is another testament, one final testament, it seems, the fourth one of this temple. You see, as he looks at it, he almost goes down on both knees, and you see he just looks up in this like adoration. The text reads, "I have seen no world greater than Kortheek. Many have tried to replicate it, but no hand nor mind can fathom the beauty you have forged through our tools. For this, there are many that wish to have Kortheek for themselves. We shall stand as its defenders, for no evil shall spoil what we have earned, in this world or the other." And you see he just kind of sits there looking up at it.
Jesus
Yeah.
fucking Christ, Mac. Therapy.
At this point, I step out of the cover, approach him slowly, no weapon in hand.
Helen would step back slightly, but wouldn't have the weapon trained on him, would just kind of be holding it aimed at the ground.
Oren, you begin to approach slowly. Your armor and bits of weapon create a sound that is unavoidable. And you see as it's kind of looking up, the shoulders flex for a moment as expression and body turn towards you. You see almost the eyes recognize the branded parts of your armor and attire. And you see he looks at you and his eyes stare into yours. But there's no effect of a Yeti. You feel no icy cold expression. you feel the eyes of a person staring at you. He
I
gives a nod.
start. What?
He gives a nod in your direction.
I nod back and start to speak in Dwarvish, just a simple prayer to Moradin.
Mm-hmm. You see his head tilts to the side, understanding what you're saying, but their response is Nakuma.
I turn around to where I know the others are hiding. You may come out now. He is the protector of this place. Well, now, at least.
Helen would kind of step out
Mm-hmm.
and kind of hook the crossbow back onto like her back, but keep like a bit of a distance, just kind of like nod a little bit and kind of watch what is happening.
Okay. He has no reaction at you appearing. And at this point, those of you who lay eyes on him, I'd like all of you to roll Arcana checks as well.
Oh, don't tell me he is cursed.
I think that much is pretty clear. Max, who hurt you?
What do you mean?
Who hurt you? What the fuck?
Normal people don't make NPCs like this.
No! Why do they keep rolling like shit? Anyway.
Helen, you are probably the only one to really gather this. You can sense different emotions coming from him, and the emotions are tied to what he wears. The belt around his chest, around his midsection, you can see is magically enchanted, and there are two emotions that seem to be fighting inside of him. One of respect and one of anger. You sense that perhaps this belt is one crafted by the priests of this temple, perhaps by his own hands, perhaps by someone else's, but someone malevolent, malicious, has cursed it.
Callus just
And it's definitely magical, right? So
Yes,
she knows that like if we hit it, it isn't gonna do anything.
correct.
Helen would just kind
Callus
of
goes,
look over at everyone and goes, does anyone happen to know how to remove magic from objects, even if someone's wearing them?
Oh, I don't.
I mean, only in theory. And I don't want to come closer to that beast.
Cal at this point is gonna go over to Orin and just poke him in the side a bit. Do you think the book did that? Or like the gnoll couldn't have. That was an idiot. But maybe the book did that?
Good thinking. I open the book and try to analyze it a bit.
Okay. You begin to look through the book, and you can see there are several chapters in the book. Ones of basic craft, others of enchantment, both basic and advanced. All teachings of Moradin kept within this one large book. There are even some of souls, creating of life, knowledge which is to be kept within the confines of a vault, or learned by the most honorable practitioners of Moradin.
But it doesn't say anything about the removal of curses or unforging of items.
In time looking through and reading through these chapters, perhaps, but skimming through at this moment, it's a lot to read through. And some of it is in old Dwarvish, as well as some Giant and Common. These are teachings and knowledge gained by other masters and have been added into this book by these people. To read through would take some time.
Helen would kind of go up to this thing and just kind of shout back and go, "He's not dangerous, he's cursed. It's something to do with the belt. It's been tampered with somehow. If we can even maybe temporarily, disable the magic on it, then, might help him." We'll just kind of go up to him and kind of sit down next to him on the ground.
Mm-hmm. He sits down, looks at you. As you're gesturing to the belt, he does grab it for a moment, and there is almost like a softness to his touch as he rubs against the sigil on the front. And he says again, "Nakuma."
Can I carefully and gently approach and look closely to the belt, if I can see or recognize any symbols?
Sure. If you
Or
want to...
at least like how to maybe lessen the curse, if I somewhere read about it.
Okay, now that you know it's a curse-related item, I'll allow you to roll another Arcana check.
And can I
Or
cast guidance
Yeah, of course
before
you can.
that? Arcana. One before. Nope.
This is a curse placed by a wicked mistress. Power unseen by your own eyes. This is emblazoned with a curse from an archmage, or maybe even the stories that you've heard. This Vernal Decker who has come through this temple. Perhaps she had a hand in this individual.
I'm against that. I veto that. I veto that. I don't want that.
You don't have the right to veto that.
Yes, I do.
No. Yeah, I'll just look at Olrin and say, yeah, unfortunately, that's beyond our powers now. Never seen that curse before, and I heard about the person who might be able to do this, or who maybe did it, but it's only a theory, nothing more. And from what I
try something.
Wait,
from my
Tuko, you're still in this room, right?
Am I okay to come out?
Yes.
Yes, he's harmless.
Okay.
And he jumps out.
Do you know a spell, maybe anything that can disable magic, remove curses, any of this kind?
I don't know any, unfortunately. I can try and see if I find something.
Please do.
Okay.
Kind of like waddles up slowly to this large person and gonna roll a check.
I can see it has a curse. I don't know how to remove it. But the item is a belt of dwarvish kind. A magical item which grants the user strength and knowledge in Moradin.
Yes, it's made by a priest of Moradin, I assume. But
And
Perhaps
this person underneath the hair looks to be a hill giant. The effects of the dwarvish belt mean rapid growth of hair. A side effect to becoming more dwarvish. This hill giant is hidden underneath all of the fur.
Do you think if we would like remove the fur, we would undo the curse?
No, the hair will come back.
Oh, I have another idea. Maybe if Olrin and this hill giant would pray to Moradin, maybe it will cleanse the, the belt. I mean, the Moradin, or at least like had some influence in creation of this item, so maybe he would be so kind and help the most dedicated follower who guarded his temple for so long. Just the theory, gods might, or at least like what those drawings on the walls like said, they might listen and help some of the followers.
Callus gonna like put a finger up.
Couldn't we try and remove the belt? Like if the curse is tied to the belt and the belt is what makes his hair grow like that and makes him more dwarf-like, can we remove the belt? Like obviously, I doubt he will agree to that, but like we can try.
What if you will catch the curse if you remove it? Do you want
I
to
am
risk it?
not gonna put it on after I remove it.
I mean, but it might have some countermeasures, against removal.
That's true.
Then let me do it.
Can I try and mind link with this fella?
Sure.
Okay. She'd kind of hold out a hand. Just to
You see, you
if
reach
he-
that hand, he looks down with a almost scared look. This large, burly individual now showing vulnerability brings down a finger and places the finger into your hand. Nokuma.
So I'm gonna speak to him telepathically.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what we're saying? Can you hear me? And then I'll use my action to give him the ability to talk back to me.
You hear no ability to speak. The only thought that comes to his mind is master in Dwarvish. You sense that any ability for him to communicate a part of this curse is nullified. The only thing he can say is master.
Okay.
It's
I'll
worth it.
just kind of clap another hand over his finger, just kind of like at it, and then just like look over at everyone and shakes their goes. Seems it's not just his speech, it's all forms of communication, unfortunately, but I'd wager he can understand what we're saying, not just how we're saying it. So it's worth a try.
Tuko, did you hear about anyone who is called like Ronald Decker?
Bad. Very
Mhm.
bad.
Yeah, I heard she was quite devious and she might had a hand in this curse.
Very powerful sorceress. Nearly tried to kill all of the gods, but failed.
So, yeah, Orin, I think you have only one choice, or at least like one chance to fix it. Try to pray or perform some rituals of cleansing of the items. Maybe it will help this poor fellow. If it not, or if it will not help, then unfortunately we have nothing to do. Unless,
Well, we could
Yep.
still just take the belt off. Technically.
Let me attempt it, at least.
Yeah. But
Could always
at least
take him
wait.
with us out the mountains, find a wizard.
At least wait.
How would we
till,
tell him that?
You see, as you say that, Helen, he kind of like shakes his head. Nakuma. And he looks over
See.
towards the vault. And he taps the
Helen will
ground.
just kind of nod, like kind of understanding this. Maybe we find a wizard, have the wizard come find him.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of shrug.
I wonder who will do this for
This-
free.
Well, we do have
We
money,
could pay him.
and we aren't poor.
I don't
Well,
know.
I'm not. Maybe you
I
are.
don't know if we can
actually don't
afford
know.
this
We haven't talked
price.
about our financial status.
It's not about that we are poor, but I don't think we can afford it. But
So, Ulrin, what do you want to try and attempt?
I do want to at least try to take the belt off, so
Okay.
I walk up to the giant and try to loosen the belt.
Okay. I'd like you to roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Expected as much.
Oh,
You grab onto the belt. You can see the buckle on the back, a metal link. You reach for it, and you almost find yourself transported back to a time when this was placed on him. And you hear screams, you hear cracks in rock. There is a danger all around, but it's only coming from one person. And this is when you see her, illuminated in a green glow, arms dripping a orange and red and green flame, tattoos across her arms, a human woman, tattoos of the gods. You see one of Moradin, one of the Raven Queen, one of Sahanin, all of the Pantheon depicted across her body, all the way up her neck, down the other arm, across her body. You see they're all shining bright as she flies through a hallway to your position, and you see just a smile across her face. Why so sad? Your master's gone. But don't worry, you'll always have him close by. And that's where we're going to end today's episode. So, thank you for joining.
what?
Major
That's
fuck you.
Yep.
This is okay. Sure, Eka.
Thanks for joining, guys. Don't forget to follow our YouTube, our social medias, everything else. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do that thing.
yeah,
And
see
we'll
you
see
in
you
the
next week.
next one.
Like last session, you casually wardrobe the Awoken, and now this session it's Decker.